All right, folks, I'm getting my chat windows here so I can see what everybody's saying. And looks like we've got Caffeinated and Gondelgrim here in the Twitch Twitch chat there. And let me get the YouTube chat up and we'll see who's with us there. All right. We got a return of the Gigafactory again.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have Gaming Zone and TL Hyken. Hey Doc. John Connor says hi Doc. And GS Nerf says Giga. Yes. Giga. Okay. Oh, subscribe tier 1. Gondelgrim's getting us started off quick here. Thank you. Subscribe for 6 months. That's about as long as we've been on Twitch.
Yo.
So is that little crown the in front of Gondelgrim's name, there's a purple star and a blue crown.
Yes, the purple star is for 6 months.
Okay.
And the blue crown is the fact that he's subscribed with Prime.
Oh.
Or he is logged in with Prime. It doesn't say he's subscribed with Prime, so I'm not sure. If you hover over the crown, it says Prime Gaming.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, 6 month subscriber. Caffeinated is one of the founders. Okay, and a moderator. Okay, so those are the two things he's got in Twitch. And so we have Burger saying hello, and McKeeg 1994. Hi, Doc. First time watching the stream. Hey, I love first timers. I've been playing for a couple days now. Definitely addicted to the game and your videos. You can get addicted to this game pretty quickly. So just don't let it destroy your personal life. Be careful of that. All right, Jenny Manley says hi, Doc, and Minor Spider says hi, Doc. Okay, well, cool. We got a good group of people. Um, when I first opened Twitch this morning, we were sitting at 1,111. So four ones number of followers. So that's pretty cool. And of course, a couple days ago, actually on Sunday, we hit 90,000 subscribers and had a 90,000 subscriber celebration yesterday. So that was way cool, and we did some great things yesterday to enjoy that. So Wadu says I like turtles. Now I don't know where that comment comes from. Okay.
Garrett's with us today, and Garrett actually owned a turtle for a while.
Oh dear, dear, dear. Yes.
Yeah, for a while.
Until he made him into
It was,
turtle soup.
What?
No, he did not make it into turtle soup.
I unfortunately had to get rid of it because I couldn't take care of it at the time.
Yeah.
But I'd love to have a turtle again.
Released it back into
They
the
were fun creatures.
and you released it back into the pond that it came from, right?
No, I actually took it to the pet store and just gave it to them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good. So they could find a new owner.
Yeah, it's not a local. It wasn't a local kind of turtle. It's a tropical turtle, and yeah, you don't put those into local streams.
Oh, okay. Okay. So TL Hyken says he picked this username 20 years ago when he was a Bionicle obsessed kid. Alrighty.
It's funny the idea that people have 20-year-old usernames now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Well, how many people have a Hotmail account?
you.
Yeah, me. Me and Mama Doc have Hotmail accounts.
Oh,
I mean, does anybody even remember Hotmail? You know,
no, didn't just get folded into Microsoft.
it was a Microsoft creation at the beginning, and it was folded into live.com.
Yeah,
So,
and that's the address I have.
So-
I had a Hotmail account, but it's like,
yeah. Das Wand Glass. Okay. Hey, Doc. Navigating the game is much easier since I found your explanation videos. Thank you. I announced yesterday that we're starting the Doc University, Doc Satisfactory University, and we'll be releasing our first university video, short and video. So they're going to be a short that tells kind of the basics of what's going on and says if you want the full explanation, head to this video, and this video gives a full explanation. The university videos are going to be expected, not like the playthroughs, they're going to be in the 7 to 9 minute range as far as target length. So you get a very quick explanation of what you're doing, and you'll get a complete layout and how to build a certain item in the game that helps with your progression, critical items that help with your progression. So I'll be doing those and trying to be as brief but as complete as I possibly can. So that'll start coming out this coming week. So Curio Sledge is big fan of the shorts and all the tips. Been playing since early access. Loving every minute of it. Fantastic, fantastic. Minor Spider says he remembers Hotmail. Oh boy, he must be of the more senior bunch. And WD Gaster says hello. Hola, Doc. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, and got Andrestea has joined us. Normal internet handle is Troy, like Deanna Troy out of Star Trek. or, okay, but I have added Andestrea because too many people are using Troy as well. Yeah, that's true. Um, I do have that problem with Doc, but I started using Doc before other people started using it real fast. Minor Spider 36 is senior now. Wow. No, I guess not. That's right. You said 20 years ago when you were a kid uh, getting involved. Okay. Okay. Instant messaging was revolutionary back in my day. Oh boy. I remember AOL and all those 3.5-inch discs they kept giving away for free on countertops and in convenience stores and all
And
over the
McDonald's
place.
and
Yeah, yeah, those 3.5-inch floppies that got you into the
lots of
internet.
CDs too.
Yeah, and I remember getting so excited the first time I searched the internet with my 9600 baud modem and was searching the internet and I got a page from Hong Kong. And I thought it was just the coolest thing that I was reaching all across the world. And
From Hong Kong.
yeah, yeah, a page that was started that the company was based in Hong Kong. Yeah.
And a few years later, when you bought the yellow pages for the internet,
Oh yeah.
and it had a listing of all the websites you could go to.
Uh huh. I should have kept that one. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
that's a
only lasted
classic
like a
nowadays.
couple of years ago. Like, yeah, you know what, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was expanding. Just you know, it was definitely following the what do they call that curve that technology doubles every year
Yeah,
and
Moore's
halves in
law.
price. Yeah. Yeah, Moore's law. It was definitely following Moore's law as it was exploding. So have a Walkman in a new box and a copy of Corel Draw in a huge box. Oh, I remember those days. I remember those days. There was a database system that I cut my teeth on a database system called Smart, and it came in a plexiglass case where each slot had a particular manual for each component of the database system.
Ooh,
And it was really cool, but now you get a little thin manual that says go visit this website,
yeah.
you know, and so it's yeah, the world has changed a lot. Okay, well let's go to the Gigafactory. I'm down in Robert's domain in the on the logistics floor.
On the totally normal and expected logistics floor, that's not completely overbuilt, completely within spec.
The dock completely overbuilt. What does that mean?
It's not. No, that's not completely overbuilt.
So
Yeah.
you have
See.
all these wonderful things here.
Uh huh.
They're modules. How were you going to improve these based on the new um, splitters and mergers and so forth that you
So I
have?
can now build these in vertical slices instead of horizontal.
So all of this going horizontal over the distance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide, you can now do that vertically instead, huh?
Yeah.
Which will help contain it within each of the um, definitely help contain it within each of the spaces that we have um, for the trains up
Mm-hmm.
above.
Yeah, because I'm struggling to keep it here
Uh huh.
contained, especially seeing as we double the number of trains, which we don't even have hooked up here.
Yep.
So I have a lot to build in this section.
Okay. Is that kind of what you're going to focus on today?
That's what I was hoping.
All right. So we'll come back to this area and see what progress Robert has made. He'll prototype it probably on a line that is working over there, and then you'll probably come back and destroy this line and replace it with your prototype, right?
You know what? That sounds like a great idea. I'll do that.
Okay. All right.
I appreciate the fact that in such a positive manner you told me to do that.
And I even passed the ball so that it would seem like your idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
Look, guys, this makes complete sense, and I won't hear anything about it. Okay?
What makes complete sense?
This huge array right here.
It does make complete sense. If you were to explain it, it would make complete sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it specifically accomplished certain tasks.
It's a 12 input, infinite output cascading compressor system, obviously.
Would you like to say that again?
12 input, infinite output cascading compressor system.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. All right.
Understand says, where's the no blueprints for Robert option?
Well, if you said no blueprints, he'd go home and
Yeah.
go play
I'd be
Minecraft.
done for the day.
Yeah. Oh, Riv says, what's the plan for today? I'm going to be working upstairs on trains. Robert's going to be working down here, just below the trains, actually, on the conveyor systems, sorting systems, so that we can get it to the rest of the factory. And I think Garrett is going to be working upstairs a bit, probably trying to replace a lot of conveyors, pardon me, hypertubes with lifts and such. So, do you need
something like that?
yeah, something like that? Robert, do you need to just bust out a window and put it just outside the door or something?
Yeah. Can you go over to the southeast corner? I want to see if Ada gives you the same tip when you take damages as it gave me, because it was quite good.
The southeast corner.
Yeah, because it's barely off the map.
I
want to see if it triggers the same voice line for you.
This corner is actually off the map, and you technically...
Your subscription to the function of any and all fix-it property expires the moment it leaves its designated zone.
Okay.
No, that wasn't what I got.
That was not what you got? Something about a subscription that expires?
Please remember to stay within your designated zone as stated in your contract. Violation of this contract will result in serious consequences should you survive.
I need to turn Ada up a little bit. Means I turn Garrett up too. All right. Maybe there's a third one.
Leaving the designated zone has been reviewed by other pioneers. Quote, it really sucked and then I died. Don't recommend.
How many different ones are there?
Unquote.
Okay. Well, let's see if there's a fourth one.
Your suit's life support is not compatible with this environment. Turn back.
Okay. Still not the one you got?
How about you eat first and then keep going, because that's not the one I got. The one I got was funnier than any of these ones. By the way, Catherine says, I don't understand what's so confusing about a 12-input, infinite output cascading compressor system. I have one in my desk drawer.
Fix-it property will not function outside of fix-it property. Return fix-it property to fix-it property immediately.
Is that it?
That's the one.
Okay. Fix-it property will not work outside of fix-it property. Please return fix-it property to whatever it said. That's too funny. Okay. Okay, so...
TL says, I'm just gaslighting Doc into taking damage.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. Okay, Schlichting. Too many consonants. That's a problem for us Americans. Too many consonants together give us a real issue. Greetings from Germany. Best time for me. I can listen to you guys while training. Who hears music at training? Oof. Okay. Cool. I appreciate that. Mega Meaty Bacon Man, that is a spooky corner. Yep, it is. It's just barely off the corner of the map. You can build out there quickly, and the structure will remain out there, but you can't physically go out there with your character. So, okay. Just gaslighting Doc into taking damage. Anthony Zervos says, morning from Arizona. Yes, Arizona. In Mountain Standard Time in Arizona. German ships. Hey, I'm back here. Hi, Doc. How you doing? Doing pretty good. Volacrum is here today. No blueprints option. Yes, I understand. Okay, did somebody say compressor system? Yes, we did say compressor system. the compressor, conveyor compressor system that we have a short out over is basically so that we can keep these belts as they cascade forward and get used. If, like, for example, these go up here and they don't get 100% used, like they're stopped up at the moment, if they don't get 100% used, the conveyor compressor allows the overflow to go to the next conveyor and then the next and then the next. So we have a lot of copper here that can be used. We just have to build upstairs and get things rolling. And all these things go up to the next few floors to be used in stuff making copper stuff upstairs. All right, I'm ready to go upstairs and start working on those trains. Okay.
Has anybody noticed a difference in the freeform mode for steel beams, and specifically the new beams?
Hmm.
The freeform mode for the new steel beams. Not noticed anything
It's
different.
like
No.
if you point off into the distance, it just goes forever into the distance. It used to go to like a specific point in front of you, so that you could build complex shapes in the air. But now it just goes to some. It basically tries to intersect with the horizon if you just point out in the wrong in the wrong direction.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same technique that I used for the tractor tires, but I'm not being able to do it.
Okay. Anthony Zervos asked, does anyone have any tips for choosing alternate recipes? Have we done our alternate recipes short yet, Robert? Or is that still?
No, we haven't.
Okay. We're going to be putting out a short here shortly. How about that? A short here shortly. That's going to help with that. The basic thing here is I'm going to go ahead and go to blueprints here. Wait a minute, no. Alternate recipes. I need to get it up to a MAM. Let me just put down a MAM quick and I'll show you. Okay. So when you're doing the recipes, when you go into the MAM here and you're going to hard drives, here you're in with the hard drive library, you're waiting for command. If you go over, if the analysis machine is this, the hard drive library, the biggest thing is if you're not excited about the recipes you got here, like you're not excited about this alternate recipe or that one, just leave it there. The biggest tip is that if you leave all the ones that you haven't yet chosen, what'll happen is the hard drive will be scanned and you'll get different recipes than what you have here on your list. So if you don't really like all the recipes that you have here, just leave them. Now eventually you'll get all the recipes unlocked. Okay. So eventually you'll get presented with every single alternate recipe. The alternate recipes for like making concrete, like wet concrete, try to choose everything that allows you to add water to a system or add another chemical to it and make simpler or higher amounts. Let me see. Like insulated cable here. With wire and rubber, you make 20, where the old recipe is 2 wire makes 1 cable here, but you add rubber to it, and you can make 20 cable out of 9 wire, which is more than doubling, actually more than quadrupling the amount of cable you get out of the wire that you include. Now, and so if you have an ample supply of rubber, you go for that. In fact, a production rate of 100 per minute versus 30 per minute on cable here. That's a recipe that I would choose. In fact, do you mind if I choose it, Robert? Okay. Robert, will you upload Megafactory today? Robert, are you at your desk?
I am.
You hear Alexa's?
If
query
we're
there?
good to, do we want to grab a save before we start the Gigafactory and upload that? Or otherwise we'd be uploading the current one.
Mhm.
Or I can always upload it to the members only sections. They have access to it. It's all up to you.
Um, hmm. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that because they're in they're in on our recording sessions and everything. So, do you have an opinion on this insulated cable, Robert?
Okay. Yeah, I can do that too then.
Okay. Do you have
No.
Do you have an opinion on this insulated cable?
No. Can I show something really quick on screen?
Okay.
Caffeinated, this is for you, by the way. I installed an elevator. Excellent, went a little bit lower than I've been to. This is the perfect entrance way to enter to a good office for caffeinated. Where it goes underwater. And I wasn't over, I was perfectly fine there for a bit, up here. And then it just hits the water and splashes down.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Captain says, yay, my office.
And so you keep going and keep going and keep going until.
See, this is my super tall blueprinting area underneath the Gigafactory. I just need to.
And you just went a little bit below where you
A
wanted to
little
go.
bit too deep. Yep.
Now you're going to swim to your platform.
Yep. That was funny.
Oh, yes, that is funny. That is funny. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose the insulated cable because that seems like a great idea to me
That's fine.
to make that. I do have to do it in a constructor rather than an assembler. So it would be in one of the constructor stores to get that. But gosh, 100 per minute, I would never have to worry about insulated cable after that. Any cable after that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that, of course, matters depending on what other alternate recipes we have. Like if we have deuterium wire, that's also really good for, creating tons of wire, which means the original recipe would just be just fine if you use deuterium wire. But
yeah, use deuterium wire to make the wire, and then to make cable, use the insulated cable recipe there, and you've got tons of production. Really good production level. All right, I'm going to go up my new handy dandy ramp here and back to my trains. Now, trains and automobiles. Okay, so here's my first challenge. Is this line right here that is currently servicing that down there needs to be actually I'm going to start from the other end. That is the logic here. I need to start from the other end and work in. Because I have more trains than what we initially expected to put in here. So we've got a lot more production out there than what we expected to do. Okay. Well, this is interesting.
okay, Caffeine wanted to name something maybe fun today because he now wants to label your office in that elevator. So yeah, tell me what you want me to name it. We'll make sure that happens. I'll even build your little office down. That'd be great.
He wants an office of his own, huh?
Down there in the swamp.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry for not calling that out earlier. I just missed it.
Okay.
Calf's office, will do. And Doc, did you answer Hobby Sauce about the trains and trucks delivery?
Oh, I missed that one.
Okay. He says, okay. He just said, is there a way to know exactly how much your trains and trucks deliver per minute on average?
Oh, yeah.
Moving from belts to vehicles feels wishy-washy on the logistics sometimes.
It is challenging on the logistics, yes. But yes, if you want to know what your delivery is, like I've got a train coming in there. Okay. And so it's going to come into this train, one of these two train tracks here. Okay. So, yep, it's going to come to that one. Okay. Now, while it's there, I can't configure the freight platform. It won't even let me. Yeah, there it goes. Up here, it tells you 840 items per minute for this freight platform. Okay. So you can see that it's empty when it loads the container in it. As long as it doesn't knock me off the platform. There. It registered how many concrete came. Okay. And now it starts unloading it. Okay. So right now it's registering 1140 per minute. It will fluctuate based on how many it is actually able to pick up at the other stations. But you can generally get an idea for each freight platform how many per minute are being loaded at each one of these platforms. And notice it does change per platform because I don't have them consistently loading exact numbers at the places it's picking it up. So that's one place in trains that you can see. If you can do the same thing at a truck stop, one of the truck stations, you can also hit the E key and configure. Go to the configure button, and it'll show the number of items per minute at a truck station too. Okay. And then it's just a matter of optimizing the system so that you are able to get maximum flow. Making sure that the drop-off stations are full and that all the drop-off locations are full and all the pickups places are full. All right. Okay, so this next track. Did I not finish making train stations?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I've got a lot of space in between these. Like I didn't finish making all the train stations that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new nudge system doesn't work exactly the same as
the old
Infinite Nudge did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so I'm having to relearn some things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm trying to do complex stuff. Like I'm doing some radial stuff right now, and it's a little complex.
Yeah, it doesn't quite do everything like the complex tilting stuff that you used to be able to tilt on multiple axes. You can't do that with the new system, which is unfortunate. And I relied on that quite a bit in the decorative work I was doing. So
Yeah.
I think we should probably bring back Infinite Nudge Dock.
Okay.
maybe the new version just won't have the infinite nudge aspect. Just but everything else into it.
Yeah. We are infinite nudge. We don't nudge infinitely because that's base game anymore, but we do other stuff related to nudging.
Related to nudging, huh? All right, transport. Here we want to make a train station, but we need to have it go out, and we need to have it there. But it needs to be. I'm going to put H. Obviously,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
The lighting engine is really frustrating sometimes.
The lighting what?
The way they do lighting here. I'm trying to get this area down here lit up, but the room's just too large that no matter what, the lights are off in half the room at all times.
Oh.
And so trying to work in the light is difficult.
Okay. Having to re-educate myself on how I snuggled these in together. Yeah, that's how.
Yeah, that's super tight.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, we space things out nicely and then realize we need a double capacity and suddenly it's tight.
Yep, and basically what happens is the outports and the imports match up going here. So if all these are being outports, I can scoot them together and have them occupy basically the same aisle.
Yeah.
So that works. Okay, that's how it needs to
First
be done.
time chat from Blade TV.
All right.
Address Stay Ahead said, regular people have a train set up in their attic, but not Doc.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And Blade responds, I'd love to have a train set up in my attic. Yeah.
Yeah. Would be cool. I've always wanted to have a train set up, but never was able to spend the time to do it.
Yep. That's fine. HO cars are better anyway.
They are, huh?
Yep. I mean, I get the what's fun about the train, but the fun part about the train is setting it up. There's no play involved afterwards. As opposed to the HO, you get to set it up and then you get to play.
Yeah. Well, setting up trains, if you really get into setting up trains, you're getting into painting miniatures and designing miniature landscapes and stuff like that. So when the people who really get into trains, it's a lot more than just the train itself.
Yeah, it's the whole scene. I used to work at a convention center. I only worked there for like 4 years. Was it 4 years? Yeah, about that. Anyway, we had a train convention there just about every year, and it was crazy how much first off, the quantity of people that would show up. It's like, there's that many of you kind of people out there? Wow. But they did some really amazing stuff.
Yeah, I agree. They did. People who set up miniature trains, every once in a while you get one of these where, one of these videos where on YouTube,
Be right back.
where they have decided they would share their trains, and they put a little webcam, Wi-Fi webcam onto the train, and run with the train through everything, and they get it to where it's so realistic that it's just it's hard to understand how how they do such a nice job with it.
Follicum says, you get an autism diagnosis, and you get a diagnosis. Everybody's diagnosed. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people in that community who have an attention to detail that the average person lacks.
No kidding.
Come on, turn on, you stupid. Alakazam says the miniature train hobby is expensive as well.
That is so true.
And I've been into painting miniatures and stuff for a while. I've been in the role playing game side of things, and there's quite a bit of crossover. At the high end of painting miniatures and building the terrain for games and stuff, people get into the flocking and and all the buildings and the detail work that happens in the miniature terrain section. So, I guess I'm not one to talk. I haven't got that far though. I haven't done any flocking, so. TL Hycon says, I feel like I watched a dozen videos on train signaling and still haven't gotten it working.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know what what you're experiencing that makes you feel that it's not working. What are you wanting it to do that it's not doing? You could post that. That would be interesting to me.
And Sam Christensen says, good morning, guys.
Got it. It did the every other thing thingy again.
You do the other thing thingy? What?
You put one down, you expect it to be the same direction, and the next one.
Yeah.
So every other one of these has to come out, get replaced.
And Ugh says, have you had any trouble with the blueprints properly connecting pipes and belts? I haven't had it work very well so far, especially into splitters and mergers. Pipes that had a 0% success for me.
Well, connecting into splitters and mergers. Did you try that aspect of
Yes, I
the
did.
auto connect?
Basically, from what I saw, unless it's connecting a conveyor to a conveyor, like that's on a stand or something, yeah, they're very finicky, unfortunately. So yes, I've had that same issue. So.
Okay. Okay.
That looks like a giant bolt. That's pretty cool.
What's that?
Oh, I used the brand new round concrete beam to make what looks like a giant bolt on these absolutely massive pipes I'm building.
Okay.
Cool.
Now let's see if we can paint them chrome. That would put the
I'll put the icing on the cake,
no,
huh?
can't.
Oh.
I put the icing on the cake. I can still work with them being the concrete color. You're gonna see them from a distance anyway,
Uh-huh.
and just the fact that it's a light color on a dark piece will allow you to see them.
Okay. So,
But it still would have been better if they could be chrome.
yeah, that would be. TL Hyken says, I have 3 push-pull lines. I'd like one to cross over the other 2 so we can reach the station. And then Ramon DeWitt says, good day, Doc. Nice to catch a stream. Long time no see. Yeah, glad to have you back. So currently we have 46 of you on YouTube and 20 on Twitch. So, hey, getting to be a a larger crowd than usual, which would be
That's
really
great.
nice. We got one follower since on Twitch since we started the stream, so that's nice.
So Volagram's worked quite a bit on the auto connect, and he has a blueprint for recycled plastic and rubber that auto connects in all relevant directions. Yeah, if you could post that to the Discord, um, that'd be interesting to look at and see how you made it work. Tuna asks, is it worth it to restart with 1.1 or just continue? He's on phase 3.
He's on phase 3. I would say not worth it.
Yeah, I think you should just continue.
Yeah, just continue because you've made it through part of the real boring stuff. And probably be good just to keep forging ahead rather than changing that. At least that's the way I would approach it.
I think I'd agree. So, Teal Heckin, if you haven't joined our Discord, let me go ahead and link it there. He says the best way to explain his train situation is with a diagram.
Okay.
I'm going to post the Discord link for everybody on Twitch and YouTube, and anybody can join anytime they want. It's a good place to hang out. But the biggest thing is we specifically have for Satisfactory a Fix My Build section where you can ask questions like this. So if you could draw a diagram of that, post it in the Fix My Build section, and let me know when you have it posted, and I'll bring it up here. We'll see it on stream, and we can take a look at it and see what we can do to maybe point you in the right direction. Okay. He says, thanks, I'm work down, but I'll try to post that tonight. Awesome. By the way, just for Calf's benefit, I'm going to take over the stream for a second.
Okay.
We have the lower stop is now labeled as Calf's office on the elevator.
Okay.
And the upper one is just the labyrinth. So, will you stop eating my berries? Okay. Anyway, that's all.
Okay.
And the newbie hive says, "What are we working on today, Doc?"
I am working on the train station in the Gigafactory. And as you can see, it's a pretty big job. Lots of trains coming into the station. And we're increasing capacity so we can bring more and more product in. We still have aluminum to bring in. We still have a lot of other commodities to bring in that are better manufactured potentially elsewhere. And just need to get them all here. Robert's working on the logistic floor downstairs with the newfangled toys he's got with the 1.1 build. So he's remaking some of his logistics with the ability to compress a lot of the items that he couldn't do before. So
the vertical conveyors.
Yeah, exactly.
And Garrett's working on. Sounds like you're doing some architectural stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Here we go. Thanks, Swami Live, for getting us started. 1 out of 10 was this Prime subscription. All right, Swami Live. I appreciate the subscription. That helps keep the channel going, keep it live, keep the servers up and running so that we can pay for them without having to take it out of my Social Security, which helps a lot. Okay, I've got train stations all the way to the wall, Robert.
Awesome.
Now I'm going to work on, do I have enough train lines coming in the door over there?
No, you see, in fact, those disconnected ones, if you look the opposite direction, that way.
Uh-huh.
You see, we've already started to compress them down. That's partial. We need to do more to connect the rest of them. But it's like we have to one by one reconnect a line,
Mm-hmm.
fix all the trains,
Yes.
connect the next line, fix all the trains, etc.
The question I had was, do we have enough coming in the door at the far end, and are these compressed enough?
I think we
At
have
the
enough
far
on the far
end.
door, yes, but no, they're not compressed enough. Only the first couple are compressed enough.
Okay. So
But
let's.
Swanee Live just commented.
Uh-huh.
Said, just found your channel, Doc. Love the content. Thanks for sharing with us.
You're totally thank you, and thanks for giving us your Prime subscription after just finding us. That is really awesome. We trying to provide value to folks. So,
And we really appreciate every single subscription that you guys give. Every dollar helps.
absolutely. All right, there comes a couple trains there. Pretty cool looking ones that come right around the corner there. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines coming in, and I'll bet you we have. How many trains do we have? We have 11 lines coming in the door. We got 1, 2. Okay, and every line supports 2 train stations. There's 2, 3 lines, 4 lines. There's the 5th.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this without
There's
complex
the
nudging.
6th. There's the 7th. 8th. 9. And 10. And
Attention,
11.
Fixit has granted you a single Butterfinger consumption event. Please savor it responsibly. Additional units remain classified and inaccessible. Enjoy the illusion of freedom. It pairs well with chocolate.
It does pair well with chocolate, yes. That's my sustenance for the day, right? Hype train coming. Mr. Tim subscribed with Prime. All right. We've got 2 Prime subscriptions so far today. That's great. If anybody who's just willing to spend their 1 Prime subscription that everybody has for having Prime with Amazon, appreciate every single one of those. They come our way and help do the things we love to do for everybody.
And Mr. Tim said with his Prime sub, he says, "Hi, Doc. Been following your YouTube short tips for a long time. I've been watching you on YouTube. Another person just reminded me of my Prime sub that I can give monthly. So here you go. A little support for all the great and helpful tips."
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, Robert, it looks like we've got enough lines coming in the door.
Good.
Yeah, I don't think I can make this without the complex nudging.
You said that how many times now?
A couple.
You just want to make sure we hear it, right?
Yep. Yep.
Same.
I'm trying to make a really big pipe bend. And that pipe bend doesn't want to happen because I need some vertical rotation. And I can't do vertical rotation without complex nudging.
Okay. So, do we need to reinstall Infinite Nudge on the server?
I would like it.
I agree.
Sam Christensen, yes, the Butterfinger Fund was not a lie. No, why would you think it was a lie?
And it says fix it really is better than aperture science. He's worried about fix it. You know.
I'm sorry. The Fix It music versus Aperture Science music, it just they don't compare.
Aperture wins, of course.
Aperture Science. What is that?
Doc. Someday
GLaDOS
we will
was
get
the
you to.
original Ada.
Oh, wow.
Well, no. The original comes from is Hal. Okay, Hal went to space, so GLaDOS could exist. Okay.
I've got an interesting. Okay, yesterday I finished my diluted fuel power plant, turning 1,200 crude oil into 60,000 megawatts power, alongside some packaged water. Love the progress of building it. Very fun early game build. And what's the 100 things that is there, Robert? Do you see that first time chat from Ramon?
Let me get over that page again. I was looking at something else. To play you 100 bits. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank
And then Undead Taco subscribed with Prime. That is really, really cool. First time chat also. There you go. I've been watching YouTube shorts religiously. They're great, but y'all remind me of my Twitch Prime sub. You deserve it. Well, thank you. I appreciate saying we deserved it. All righty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Got another pillar to get removed here. Okay. Okay. And probably have to dismantle these hypertubes too. Every once in a while you can hear the goats out there baying away.
Yeah, I didn't know that we had goats here.
Oh, really?
Until yesterday when I came home from walking Freya, and all I heard was wow.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Oh gosh.
It certainly made me hungry for goat.
Oh no. Those are our foliage clearing devices.
Yes. Meat-based foliage clearing devices.
Yes. I mean, the forest back there, I need to start just do a walkabout, and show off what we've got as far as a forest out there, because it's really cool what we have going. 1, 2, 3 should come out to there. Really, it's not going to let me go that far. Okay, fine. Track is too long. I want to get these things perfectly straight, but it only wants to go that far. And let's attach this one. Bring it out also to the limit of where it'll go. That looks straight to me. And that has to go to that. And actually, I'm going to just leave it at that distance. All right. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This needs to go to there. Then to
we go. Okay, now I'm finally back to chat. Man.
Okay.
Raymond says goats equal chainsaws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, the service they provide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what am I doing wrong here?
I do not know.
I put that one under 5. This, it's too sharp. It's not going over, oh, it's only going over 2.5. That's why. Needs to go to the yellow line. Basically take that one just to the yellow line. And that ought to make a nice, perfect.
And John Connor just became a member over on YouTube.
Fantastic. That's really good. Okay,
What?
what is going on here? What? What? Okay, fine.
Jamaica says scroll wheel when trying to place the track. Might help with that.
Okay. All right, and a prime sub. No,
Billboards rotate vertically. Now let's see if I can place stuff on it.
what is it
Oh,
trying?
oh,
There it goes.
hey, you got it. Nice.
For some reason, the scroll wheel would do it,
Oh.
where it wouldn't do it. Okay.
No.
What is the scroll wheel thing happening? I've never seen that before. Never seen the need to use the scroll wheel in order to make that happen.
Well, like when you're placing a machine, like when you're placing a hypertube
Uh-huh.
branch or junction, scroll wheel will align it in place. But never use it on that.
You know something, Robert?
What's up?
I didn't even bring my monster to the table.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody wants me to hydrate. John Connor did the hydrate one, and then the
Oh.
smiley face one, and
Yeah.
Metal Thunder says, "Hey Doc." So,
I better go grab that for you.
would you please? That would be great.
It's only because I also grabbed one myself. Did you actually grab one? Is it just left out here? Or?
No, I totally spaced it. Totally spaced it. Peach or strawberry, please. That would be nice.
Strawberry monster. You hear that? You're drinking the peach.
Absolutely, and keep your hands off of it.
Yeah. I mean, Doc has good taste. Peach is good.
Okay. Don't act like you haven't been coming over here and trading out for peaches every single time you can.
Oh, I certainly have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Doc has good taste. That's why I keep on stealing them.
I just don't get it. And peach is okay. I have nothing against peach, but it's just like, it's just a flavor.
Ugg says, threw my prime sub in the mix. Forget Twitch exists most of the time. Yeah, I think Amazon almost wishes it didn't exist for some reason. They kind of ignore it.
You know, Twitch has been having a rough time lately.
Is this one being used at all?
Hey, Metal Thunder. He says,
Yes.
Doc, what you building?
Not named. Well, what you see is our massive train station on the screen at the moment. And I'm just reconfiguring the lines here to connect with the proper lines that they're supposed to connect with. And these are going to turn in from this far one here. So just getting these aligned.
Well, that's a bit cursed.
What?
Okay. Explain.
I am making curves using pipes,
Yeah?
and it's a little bit cursed.
Okay.
But if it works,
Okay. A cursed pipe works.
yeah,
Okay.
sort of.
Sort of, right? Okay.
Oh, but then can I? I think I'm gonna have to finish this when we get Infinite Nudge back.
Alexa says, Doc, isn't it nice to have minions do your dirty work?
Oh, are you referring to Robert getting my drink for me? I didn't think that was dirty work. Ah. Okay. Andrew State says the toe bone's connected to the foot bone.
Oh, that's a Ada voice.
That's
See
going to
how
be
well
an
Ada
A.
could do
Oh
could
no!
sing.
Oh no! We're gonna have Ada sing to us.
It's gonna take a minute.
Alexis seems to think that Infinite Nudge is available for Windows 1. So,
Good. Yeah, it's just about getting it installed. So
Yeah, I have to say I'm glad that they didn't just abandon the project.
mm-hmm. Hey Doc, who are we along with besides the other phantom voice that you keep on hearing talking about making bending pipes is my other son, Garrett.
Hello.
He is a slight bit younger than Robert by about 8 years. He is part of the second family that we started having. Same mother, same father. Just couldn't figure out how to get it done for 8 years and finally figured it out one day.
just take a bit of a break, that's all.
Yeah, I guess so, but kind of weird. But okay. So yeah, there's an 8-year gap between Robert and Garrett, and then Spencer,
Mm-hmm.
our last son, came along fairly quick after Garrett, so he'd have a companion to grow up with.
Yeah, and that's why you had him. It's like, yeah, Garrett can't be alone. We don't trust him alone in the room. Fine.
Oh, please.
They knew when he was like a year and a couple months old. Oh boy, this one's gonna need a babysitter.
Oh, please. Spencer, a babysitter? Are you kidding me?
Okay, maybe that's a bit far.
We both know that that's ridiculous.
You can tell they're siblings, maybe.
We'll say this: Garrett needed a babysitter. Spencer needed a chaperone.
Yikes.
Okay, now we have address stays. Ada voice line.
All right, everybody,
Oh.
listen up. This one's gonna be funny.
Unfortunately, ones that are that long air out and don't function. It broke. So I will refund that one.
Darn. You worked really hard on writing. You're gonna need to read that one then, Robert, in Ada voice.
No, I'm gonna refund that one.
No, you need then after you refund it, you need to read it.
I don't do Ada voice. And John Connor says, "Hi Garrett, did I get that right?" Yes, sir.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Hello.
2 T's. To be technical.
Yep. 2 R's, 2 T's.
Gontalgrim once said, Garrett, as a fellow middle child, how does it feel to know your family neglects you and ignores your existence?
And so Gontagram asked, and Garrett, you didn't hear this. He said, so Garrett, as a fellow middle child, how does it feel to know your family neglects you and ignores your existence?
Yeah, we just heard Ada say that.
I didn't hear her say that.
Yeah, it doesn't come through to Garrett, so.
Oh, so you had to read that one out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it just comes with the territory, you know. You gotta love them anyway, otherwise. Yeah.
There's 5 children. So Adrestea says, technically he's not the middle child. He's the middle one, but there's 4 children, right? Well, there's 5 of us.
5. Yep, 5.
Technically, I'm the middle child. But, like, the gap between me and my 2 older sisters... Adrestea says, well, okay, Robert's an AI, so I guess I don't count. But the difference between me and my older sisters is only 5 years, right? Between all 3 of us. And then there's an 8-year gap, and then there's my 2 younger brothers. So it's like I grew up as the youngest child because they were just too young by comparison. And then they both moved out fairly early, and I continued living either with or around my parents for quite a while, working there in the same state. And so then I became, like, especially in my 20s, just the oldest for a long time. With them around. So I was kind of like the youngest and the oldest. I never really got that middle child syndrome. My older sister did, and Garrett kind of was the middle child as well, which is kind of weird, but...
So, to continue that story,
Sure.
The point I wanted to make was John Connor says this TTS Ada for Twitch. So why don't you explain what's going on there?
Yes, that is on Twitch. At some point, I'm going to get to the point where I can do that on YouTube as well. But for right now, it's just a Twitch thing. But if you go over there and you just hang out and you just have the video playing there, you'll generate channel points. And basically, you can put out 1 ADA text. I think it's one every couple streams you watch. So... yeah, we'd love to have Ada TTS on YouTube as well.
But now this one has an active train on it. This next one.
Godly Grim says, as a middle child, I resorted to setting things on fire and blowing it up to get attention. However, there's zero evidence that I've ever done anything illegal, and you can't prove it. By the way, if you're going to set something on fire, use kerosene, not gasoline. Your eyebrows will thank you.
Robert, tell them about the time you made napalm.
Look. They didn't even know about it for years. And I don't know if Doc remembers me telling him. But yeah, I made napalm. Not much of it, but I made napalm.
Oh, go ahead.
I was attending university there for a while, and I was helping tutor a much older gentleman who was in the military, deployed to a unnamed Eastern Asian country where napalm was used significantly, and he told me about such things, and that sparked my underdeveloped my brain, and I decided that would be fun to make, and so I made some. And the problem with napalm, yes, it's sticky. Yes, it burns for a long time, very slowly. It also puts out huge plumes of black smoke. And it's very hard to hide huge plumes of black smoke in your backyard.
Gonogram's already got the point.
Yes, with other additives. Gonogram.
Exoblu, Exo Blue? Exo Blue. Okay. Is this your same Mega Factory from 1.0, or did you restart for 1.1? We continued it with the excitement that we'd be able to add 1.1 items to it. In fact, Robert is adding a bunch of features to the logistics floor using the new tools from 1.1. So that's that's way cool. Okay, so that's the train that I'm working on right now. That one right there. And now it gets a little bit more difficult because I've got to move this train over to the this fourth track, this fifth track in. So now it gets a little bit more dicey. Yeah, I think that's the way I will accomplish it first. I need these to be out of the way because they're a little bit too far drawn in at this moment. Okay. Okay. How much power are you generating in this mega world? Oh. Do I have a... Garrett embedded the power in the ceiling, so let me figure out where there's power. And I'll take a quick peek for you.
Should just need to draw a power line down to check really quick.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can see it off of one of these knobs.
I think
Unfortunately,
so.
no.
You can't? Okay.
No. Yeah, you have to draw a power pole down.
See how neat Garrett did? The power is up here in the ceiling and you just draw it down there and it just hides it. Really nice. So how much power are we drawing? Let's go. You know, we haven't even checked our nuclear power plant to make sure it's still functioning, but we'll be able to tell really quick if it's not functioning when we check the power pole. So I'm going to attach it. No empty power on that connection. Why is there no empty power on any of these connections? There we go. Okay, so if I just put that down there, go down and check. Alrighty, how much power are we actually... Okay, so our potential capacity is 300 gigawatts, 304 gigawatts. We're actually max consumption running at about 250, and our production, current production and capacity are both together up here in the 310 gigawatt range. So that's, and we're actually consuming about 100 of that. So we've got a potential... I mean, our power boost, our alien augmenters are producing 136 gigawatts, and that's more than what we're actually consuming. So we're in good shape as far as current consumption of water, of power. So make sense? All right, that answers that question.
Well, glad to see our nuclear power hasn't melted.
Yep. Yes, very glad to see that. Okay, I call this Giga Cement, by the way, for all you purists that think I ought to use the word concrete. Not deliberately, I just get the two confused all the time.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's get a green line.
Oh, that's gonna be so much more difficult.
What is that?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to make this this work vertically. I thought it'd be a whole lot easier vertically, but the problem is that I only have 6 foundations of height, and I need like triple that.
Interesting.
John Connor says that's amazing, referring to how much power you have. My last save, I only capped at around 20k for a solo-ish world, and by solo-ish I mean I had a few friends to try out the game, but they all got bored.
Hmm.
That's too bad. Oh, 20 gigawatt. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we kind of went overboard with the power, but to be honest, we're gonna use it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once.
you can't really go overboard on power. I mean, you'll always grow to use it all.
Mm-hmm. Is
Did what happened?
is your hover pack not engaging?
For some reason, it wasn't for there for a bit. Kind of weird. Okay, let's try connecting.
Yeah. Can I double check with you which lines are going to which one? Oh, are you starting at the end and working your way back?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's oh.
And so what I've got to do is, this is an active line, and this is the line. This line is where I need to move this one to.
Right.
But I need to keep that active line running until I get those trains moved over to this line. So I've connected the new line to it while waiting to get the train moved over to this line.
Cool. So first time chat from the Professor X. He says, "Hi, finally managed to catch you on Twitch."
All right. To Professor X. Okay.
And Feels Mad says, first time chat as well. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. I enjoy your shorts. And I love the calming energy you bring to the ensemble of Satisfactory streamers. Anyway, gonna start streaming myself in a few minutes. Setting up trains the first time is interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. If that is your Twitch, at the end of our stream, if you're still going at 1 o'clock our time, which is 2.5 hours from now, we'll see if you're still on and we can raid you.
Yep.
Okay.
So Metal Thunder wants to know, how big is the factory and or train station?
Well, the train station has 11 pairs of train stations. So there's 22 train stations across here.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and
Just-
about 4 of them, four of those pairs have trains at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So 1, 2, 3,
And
5, 6, 7, 8.
Trumpkin redeemed Hydrate.
Okay.
Make sure you take a sip. And Professor X just subscribed with Prime.
Another Prime. Fantastic.
Thank you, thank you. Mega Meaty Bacon Man's on the opposite end. Says, my tire factory runs off a single power grid. So when the power goes out, which it's done a few times, all the lights go off.
Ouch. Ouch.
But, I mean, what else would we want from Mega Meaty Bacon Man? I mean...
Okay, so here's the situation. While we have them connected inside the station, this one that I need to connect to a live one is not even connected to our incoming trains. So,
As in, I would prefer for us to connect them to, continue this very perfect, beautiful straight lines all the way out, and only rejigger things out there.
out where?
As in right now, instead of taking your new line, just crossing over to connect to your current train here, input it into a new line. Oh no.
I'm going to have to build... What? Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to let you figure that out. I'm not going to add either. I'm going to turn back to my problems over here. Yep, have fun.
Okay. I think I heard that loud and clear.
And Mega Meaty Bacon Man says, I didn't realize 1.1 had come out, and I missed that memo. My save file actually functions again. It's amazing. I'm so happy.
Yes. We have noticed that the optimization that they did with 1.1 has really helped. Where it got to the point where we were almost non-functional with our factory being this large, where we got almost non-functional, we're back to actually being able to function in the world and continue working in the world. So
Yeah.
that is way cool. Okay, so out here there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 5 more tracks out to the right, Robert. 5 more tracks. Can you believe that? It looks like you can see Garrett working off in the distance.
So, Community of Gaming says, how you doing, Doc?
I'm doing pretty good. A little bit stressed at the moment, trying to figure out how I'm gonna reconfigure this. It would have been nice had I gone inside a little bit farther with these train tracks, but I didn't. And all 3 of the early ones are in use.
Well, and trying to get a good curve on it
Uh-huh.
means you just stick out a little bit.
And I'm not quite sure how far we can go out here.
Only one way to know.
Well, I'm going to start by building something under me.
Oh, come on. So Alexa highlighted a message that says, Doc, I just want a moment to praise your idea of sharing the Mega Factory save with the members. I know I'm not the only one who feels truly appreciated and proud to be a member of this community.
Fantastic. That's such a
Well,
nice
thank you.
nice thing to say.
So Jam Club asks a great question. It said, why are that many tracks and not just one track, since all the trains are going one direction in that area?
Well, part of it is because, for example, this track over here, the first track here, has 6 trains on it. And so literally these train signals make sure that those 6 trains don't keep running into each other. Most of these tracks will have as many as 6 trains each running on them, just bringing the one commodity into the train station. So while yes, they're all running, every once in a while you'll see these trains here get backed up, and you'll see one stopped at this train stop, and one stopped at that one, and one stopped at that one, and they'll be all lined up out here. And they're all trying to get into just that one pair of train stations. So while it seems like that would be a simple solution, being able to have the trains segregated like this is pretty much a necessity.
Yeah, and in fact, we expanded to this when we had tried a more. We tried to have only one input at the very beginning, and very quickly, what ended up happening was that and the balance is very delicate when you go from everything's flowing, looks like you have plenty of space, to suddenly everything's always bogged down. And we added just one more train, and suddenly everything was bogged down. And so we're kind of dealing with that kind of issue of we're building in extra space so we don't hit that tipping point and accidentally mess everything up with this big cascading failure. Yes, Blade TV, you're correct. But that's okay. Doc's gonna fix it.
That's gonna fix what?
The third track in from where you are
Uh-huh.
doesn't quite sit on the hill downward. That one that you're looking at. No,
It just
in by
went
one.
by.
Towards you by one. That one right there arcs upward higher on that little hill there. And the rest of them kind of slope down more.
Yeah, it's almost alternating. This one does the same thing as
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
And you already said that I was going to fix that, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Doc's gonna come here, he's gonna work on it until it's absolute perfection with no doubt.
Right. See, this is the no man's land corner over here. So
Fix-it property will
See?
not function outside of fix-it property.
Trains are fine.
Return fix-it property to fix-it property immediately.
return fix-it property to fix-it property immediately. See, I can build out here. I just can't. I can't put my person out there.
So Dendu asks, why are you using only the frame foundations?
It's just a fun look for trains.
Yeah.
You know, I just figured the frame foundation looked really cool when you talked about trains. So plus another really cool thing is you can go through them just like that. That's under architecture, I believe. I want that.
So Metal Thunder said, I'm always stressed playing this game because my factory and logistics are such a mess. And Mega Meaty Bacon Man replied saying, Metal Thunder, it's interesting seeing how people play from meticulous planning and construction to whereas I just plonk everything everywhere.
Yeah. And that actually is one solution to not being stressed is, disconnect yourself from the stress as best you can. But go ahead, McGarren.
Mega Meaty Bacon Man's builds are at once horrifying and beautiful. They are a contradiction of utter chaos. And I don't know how he can manage that.
Yeah, I mean, he builds a lot like the who's that guy that we love to laugh at his
Let's
spaghetti.
game it out.
Let's game it out. He's more on the let's game it out side of the world.
Honestly,
But I want to say that Mega Meaty Bacon Man, there is an underlying sort of order that comes through his builds that's just really weird, and it makes my head hurt.
Makes your head hurt. huh?
I disagree. I would frame Mega Meaty Bacon Man as Satisfactory's own Jackson Pollock. You know, just
Now they've got to understand the Jackson Pollock thing. So everybody online, Google Jackson Pollock so that you understand what he just referenced. But that would be true, actually.
there is no order, only chaos. Let the conveyor
But it's an
show
artistic
you.
order. Don't you think?
What was your last comment?
It's an artistic sort of order.
Sure.
Or an artistic sort of chaos, maybe is the way you say it. Oh gosh, so much I wish we had you know, two-dimensional Zoop right now.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Where's your blueprinter, Robert?
In the basement.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. I need a 6x6 foundation of this, so I'm gonna go to the basement here.
Sure, there is a blueprint ready for you.
That'll make this go a lot faster.
Alexa says, "Let's Game It Out has a good order. I mean, everything goes up."
Yeah, you know, different forms of up. Is it
Just because he has a rule doesn't mean he has order.
okay? So where is it, Robert? It's along this wall, right?
Nope. Turn around.
I'm coming from the no man's land corner.
Yes.
Okay.
You just went the wrong that direction. Yes.
Okay.
So Sheldon Bailey said, "Hey Doc, greetings from Louisiana. I just finished Phase 3.
Okay. Phase 3. Good job.
I was excited for drones until I figured out how hard it would be to start up an aluminum factory,
Okay.
falling into some trouble with bauxite."
Is it out? Do I have to take the elevator to it, Robert?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I feel like a little kid.
Yeah, you look like a little kid.
Oh, haven't you changed the music yet? Go to
No.
Calf's office or
Yeah, Cap's office. You're in the labyrinth. You got to go down to Cap's office.
Gauntlgrim once said, "In the grimdark of the future there is only war."
well, in the grim dark of the future, yes. Can I clear the blueprinter?
No, sir. You can go to the next blueprinter over.
Which blueprinter? Okay, one empty blueprinter.
The one
Oh
empty one,
gosh!
yes.
Look at what you're doing.
Yes, I'm creating prototypes.
You're creating a blueprinter paradise.
A place that Garrett cannot interfere.
Well, yeah. Watch
Are
him
you
take
sure
that
about
challenge now.
Are you sure about that?
You may try.
I think a couple minutes at a deconstruct tool, and I could make trying very
No,
successful.
no griefing on the server, Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett. There is a shuffle mode. I will go change it to shuffle. I didn't realize there was a audio chamber.
No, light, you're off. You're not on right now. Gosh dang it.
There we go. It's on shuffle.
What is shuffle? Oh, you can shuffle music
Yeah.
on the elevator?
Yep. That's what Chill Smoke told us.
Huh. And you just did it?
How do
Yep.
you do that?
When you go to edit the floors, the thing at the top changes to music. See, I thought they were just the nonsense names like what they give to give to train stations and stuff. But no, those are the track names for the music that plays.
Huh. Interesting. Let's set the directory. This is definitely a Gigafactory, and it's definitely a transport. Add blueprint here. Okay, and good.
You said the thing at the top.
When you go to edit the panel,
Oh, there
edit
is
panel.
a shuffle option.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a question from Sam Christensen. It says, how do you guys deal with the destruction phase of breaking down your factories to rebuild?
How do we deal with the destruction phase?
Yeah,
Quickly.
we just don't do it.
A lot of times we just don't do it.
Yeah, we just go to a new area.
Yeah, let's just go somewhere else. Let's go somewhere else. We'll just keep this one functioning and limping along. I mean, basically what's happened at this point is we're making the Gigafactory and we're pretty much transferring all support and all new production over here. But all of our old production is still happening in the Gigafactory, in the Mega Factory that we built. So the Mega Factory is still functioning mostly. Every once in a while we find a weakness and we go tweak and get it functioning again, and then we leave it alone again. So right now it's pushing stuff into the in the dimensional depot. It's just functioning, and we just don't mess with it. And we moved to a totally different area, totally across the map. We're way across the map from where we built the Mega Factory at the beginning of the 1.0 build. And eventually we will deconstruct it, maybe. I don't know. As long as it functions, I don't know a reason to deconstruct it, really, unless I need the resources. You know, like all the Mercer spheres that we used for the depots and stuff like that. If we need some of those, we may deconstruct some of that stuff. So,
We shouldn't.
but yeah, we may not. Okay.
Megamidi Bakamin said, spaghetti for the spaghetti god, bask in the glory of a purely chaotic build. Please note, during the initial planetarily landing some pioneers land directly on their heads, but despite their injuries, one or two still manage to save the day.
They land on their heads, huh? Okay. There's the elevator. Boy, this elevator for this purpose is really cool.
Mm-hmm. And Volgram's correct. If you use blueprints, you can quickly deconstruct a lot, which we did. And with the new deconstruction chest location thing, so you can put the chest at your feet instead of where the machine was sitting.
Why am I... Feels like I'm crouching constantly. Honestly,
Come on.
look at this, Robert. Does my character look weird or something? Because I come up to here and this thing's way up here, like I'm a little child. Like my camera perspective is all messed up.
We've seen before.
Yeah.
I look up and I'm looking from my body into my helmet.
Yeah. You need to
Why shadows no work?
crouch jump, and that resets it.
Why don't the shadows work?
Okay, check it again now. I think you're fine now. Yep, there you go.
Yep, I'm walking up a normal. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's weird.
That is weird. Think your camera bugged. It's interesting that Ada didn't know how to pronounce Bacon Man.
Oh, what did it say?
Something like Bacon Man
Yeah.
rather than Bacon. So how's your project going down here, Robert? Any progress, you think? I know you're working on I love
Well-
what you've done down here with these, with the support for the stations.
Yeah, I'm trying
Okay.
to keep it nice looking.
Yeah, it'll be nice when we see the ones in the middle that the middle stations, because I can't really connect any of those middle stations um, until you get the infrastructure built. So it'll be nice to see.
Well, I am making some progress. I'm having a little bit of frustration because the blueprinter allows you to make blueprints that are too big to put in the blueprinter.
Oh, it does, huh?
Yeah, well, here, I'll show you case in point.
Okay, take over the screen.
Yeah, so I'm trying to build, because the vertical version, so this is the vertical version I was intending to do before, where instead of it being horizontal and cascading across a flat plane, it would cascade upwards like this, right? But the problem is this is kind of a little bit of our ceiling upstairs. And I need to do this 12 times. This is only
2,
4.
3, 4. Okay.
This is 4, and so I have to go triple this height. So I just don't, there's no way, right?
Okay.
So I'm going back to a horizontal layout, except, here I have this S curve, and up top I have a horizontal S curve. I thought, okay, what if we put them right next to each other and got rid of the jog and actually offset the merger splitter combos, or got rid of the offset and just allow the whole thing to kind of skew as it cascades. And this probably doesn't make sense to anybody. Fine. But the point is, I made this. I had to fill the whole grid with it. So I turned it into a template, and guess what? I turned it into a blueprint. It doesn't fit on the blueprinter.
So the
So
blueprint doesn't fit on the blueprinter.
this is a blueprint. This
Sure.
is identical to this.
Partially overlapping the
I
blueprint
made this
designer.
to this. And it is overlapping the blueprint designer. Why? If I can save this, I should be able to load this.
No kidding.
Right?
No
It's
kidding.
the same exact thing over here.
So you're gonna have to build it 100% manual.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's definitely a weakness of the system.
Greatest890 said, I am glad to see an extension of the railroad network. Trains are the superior mode of transport, especially when it comes to distance and quantity of goods.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to go to blueprints, and I'm going to go to Gigafactory, and I'm going to go to transport, and I'm going to pull up a train support here, and guess what I'm going to do with it? Right. I'm going to hit H, because that's not where I want it. There it is. All right, there we go.
What?
Boy, it's so delicate. It just jumps right up here and
Change the build mode to blueprint.
okay. And what does that do for it?
It places the blueprint adjacent to a previous blueprint, the same way you can place a single tile adjacent to a single tile.
Oh. Okay. Boy, it sure makes that a lot easier. Look at this.
Garrett, you were complaining about the shadows not working earlier.
Yeah, the shadow. I've got some shadows that are being real weird.
Well, Alexa has your answer. She says the reason the shadows don't work is because you're not in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
Very good.
You're right. You're right. I need to Doc, we need to relocate the entire factory to Mordor
Yes.
so that we can build this properly.
I guess that would be the case, yes. Uh-huh.
So ZYCHU asks where the Gigafactory is located.
If we pull up a map here,
Yep.
hopefully this shows. Can I scroll? I can't scroll this map at all, can I?
Yeah, but you can pan it.
I can
They're
pan
taking
it.
the factory to Isengard.
Okay, so here we are literally in, there's where Robert is. Here's where I'm building, and there's where Garrett's building on the factory. So we're here right on the corner of the world. In fact, if we were to put the actual boundaries of the world, it would clip diagonally across, just right across here, where this is extra world they've created so that we can see things, but you can't go there. So a lot of this stuff clear out here. You can't go there. This goes diagonally down here, clips some of this down here, and then goes straight across down here. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. And our original mega factory was clear over on the other side of the map, over here under this. Let's hide the menu. There we go. Our mega factory is over here. So yeah, we moved clear over to the other side of the map for the Gigafactory right here. And
Yep.
here's our drone ports here that are bringing product into the Gigafactory, and the Gigafactory actually sits right here over the water. Thus, you see when Robert goes down to the basement that
Be
he's
right back.
right over the water. So literally. So
So Volcrum said about my blueprint, he says, it doesn't fit in the blueprint because the splitters have a larger hitbox than it looks. A blueprint can check against that. If it's only one end, you can trigger with a blueprint on the side of the blueprint. Or you can just make one smaller. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't understand how it works. I'm saying I don't like how it works. But an even funnier little interaction here. I'm going to take over the stream again. I went ahead and just cut it in half just to see, because sometimes you can trick it. And if I place the blueprint down at this end, it'll work down at this end.
okay.
It's perfectly fine. You see how it's lined up? It's happy with that. Okay? It is perfectly lined up. It's barely overlapping, and it's fine right there on this end. Okay?
Okay.
We come up here to this end, and it won't go on this end.
Huh.
Even funnier, if I rotate it the wrong direction,
It'll work.
it'll work. So not only is the hitbox off, but it's off on the output side, not on the input side. Yeah, the directionality is an issue. So, and by the way, the reason why I want to make it 12 is because we have 12 inputs. And so this is 12 inputs lined up. If I make it one less, I have to manually add exactly one more, and having 12 inputs is really nice. Oh, and by the way, this one worked. So it's like, I can do this half, but I have to manually do this half. It's just weird. Anyway.
Well, you could also do five of the rows and then just put the one row at the end. Too.
Manually do one row. Yeah, I could manually do one, which is annoying, but doable. Anyway.
But doable, yes. Unfortunately, it's doable.
So, Gauntergram asked a Minecraft question. Is there a way to have things in the chest sort? All logs in a row, then plank slabs, etc., etc. As an add-on or something. There is... I don't know the name of those add-ons, but there are definitely ones. There's ones to auto take everything in the chest, auto dump everything to the chest, auto sort everything in a chest, those sorts of things. I don't know what they are. I haven't looked into them, but they do exist. I know they're part of the Vault Hunters mod pack, but that's all I could say.
Are they? Big question is, are they client-side mods? If they are,
I think Garrett's found a new mod to download.
Yep.
yeah. I mean, like, Minecraft, a large part of the game is just item management for Minecraft. Hey, Robert, you mind coming down to to my project?
You show it off on stream.
Well, I more want some ideas,
Okay.
but yeah, we can show it off a
Yeah,
little bit.
but Robert,
Streams
go
it.
ahead and take off.
It's far from.
Okay, Robert, go
It's
ahead
far
and
from
take off and
finished.
go do that with him. I'm going to take a quick stretch break, and I'll go grab another drink, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take over the stream and let you guys watch this. Where are you, Garrett?
In the basement.
In the basement. I'm okay. In the labyrinth?
Sorry, in the tower basement, hub basement.
Oh, in my area.
I'm working on what we discussed last time.
Please go. Sure. And Trump can redeem hydrate and stretch, Doc.
Well, I'm getting the hydrate part, and I did stretch. Okay.
Okay, what's the fastest way to get up top? I don't have a way up from here. You know what I can do? Will you go? Thank you. Okay. I got stuck. Oh. Whoops. I'm now inside one of Doc's stores because I took the wrong. I'm getting lost in the Gigafactory, Doc.
Excuse me, what?
I'm getting lost in the Gigafactory.
Oh, that's easy.
Yep. And
we
Ice
need
Knight
Garrett
just
to-
subscribed to Prime.
We need to Garrett to put some more signage up to help
And
us.
now I'm stuck on the ceiling again.
Are you stuck on the ceiling? Oh, no.
It happens.
Oh, no.
Okay.
All right, so I have grape drink here. And I'll do the hydrate, and then I'll continue building my blueprints.
I could look down over Doc's work down there. Huh?
Now that you can see the dimensional depot is catching up to me, I need 180 girders in order to make this blueprint. And if I just go blueprint after blueprint after blueprint, I quickly deplete the number of girders that can be in the motion dimensional depot. But notice how fast it goes. We've unlocked everything all the way down the stream and all the way down the length in the MAM. So we've got it loading as fast as it can load. So my train supports, I can only build them just so fast. Garrett, in order to make up for his deficiency, as he was striving to build like foundations and stuff, the concrete was an issue. He put multiple dimensional depots on onto lines so that it would load it fast enough. So here, I'll let Garrett. Now that Robert's there, I'll let him take over.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's people here who haven't really seen the basement, so I'm gonna give them a quick tour of the basement first, Garrett.
Okay.
Oh gosh, can you turn that off, please?
Oh.
Stupid boombox. I don't know if they can even hear the boombox, but man. Okay, so this is the basement, the customer relations area. We have this room just got remodeled, so it's not quite built yet. But this is our radioactive waste storage area.
I don't know. I kind of like the way it was before. This
Yeah,
doesn't seem quite dense
it's
enough.
yeah. I agree. I agree. This area that was a kill dock area that hasn't been finished. This is our general junk storage room. Let me turn on a light here so you guys can see a bunch of spare power poles, so dividers, ladders, hypertubes. All of our Christmas decorations just got stacked up here. A job well done is the perfect present. Efficiency is the best holiday cheer, in our holiday signs, We'll put these back up this next fall. Over here, just yeah, one of the maintenance rooms. Nothing too special there.
Factory support.
Yeah. And of course, our second maintenance room just got this functioning yesterday or last week. So, yeah, one of our. I don't even what to call this, but yeah.
What's that big red tube?
Good question. It's some sort of power source or something. I don't know.
Okay. You're just the maintenance man. You don't know everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I just make sure all the bolts are tightened.
Okay.
And then of course the customer relations area. Fix it motivational department posters are now mandatory. Only you can prevent inefficiencies. And then
Why do the dividers have to be so luminescent?
yeah, they're really bright. Anyway, and of course customer complaints office, and they are out to lunch. So.
And for some reason, every time I've gone to visit there, they've always been out to lunch. What's the deal there, Robert?
I'll talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Garrett, let's how about you show off your new addition to the basement hall?
Yeah, I mean, it's still under construction, but I have some good ideas. I think it's moving in the right direction, but I'd love to have a few more ideas.
Oh my. Heck yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so the pipes and the walkway I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah.
This I tried to replicate what you did, but it's just not turning out quite right.
One of the things
Not for this space.
Yeah, one of the things that worked with the other spaces, it was very congested, very, very cramped feeling. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and this place is not cramped.
Yeah, this
not
is
in the
trying to
slightest.
Yeah, this is doing the opposite. This is the void is so large, you're gonna fall forever kind of feel.
Yeah.
So I do like the red lighting. The red lighting is absolutely perfect. This just walkway in the middle of nowhere. I love that. Absolutely love that. So, yep. And then of course an elevator shaft that just goes into the void. It's great.
I wish I could change the color of the void.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
If you
Cool.
went down there, would you actually die because you're off the map?
No, the room ends before you die.
So can you actually take the elevator down to the bottom?
Yes, you can.
Mm.
Yeah. And Blade says, that looks like the shaft Vader threw Palpatine down. Uh-huh. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it sure
And
does.
Caffeinated says, love the holodeck ceiling lighting in the hallway. Yeah. We're trying to get the weird, somewhere between Portal and Stanley Parable sort of vibe down here.
You keep on saying Stanley Parable, but
I
I got
do.
no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, the massive room with all the screens on it and stuff like that. And there's plenty of little little liminal spaces around there that have some of this. I'm talking about for the whole basement area, not just this room.
Yeah.
But Anyway.
What I really want, down at the very bottom, I really wish that I could get the bottom of this covered in water.
Okay.
But this is kind of built in the wrong place for that.
Yeah, I think so.
And so I'm wondering if there's a way to replicate that effect, but I'm not sure.
So, Undead Taco says Stanley Parable is a fantastic game. You should play it if you don't know it. And I did. I can't get it to load on my PC for some reason, so I loaded it on my laptop. And it loaded up fine on my laptop for some reason. And I played it, and, you know, it's just a nonsensical game where you just do the same thing over and over and over again. If you make different decisions, you still end up at the same place, you know, and it just becomes very kind of...
Well, you didn't make very many decisions, Doc.
Well, I got frustrated when 3 of the decisions that I made all ended up in the same place. Why should I continue? 3 out of 3?
Well,
I'm done.
Doc, you like to follow the rules.
Of course.
You really like to follow the rules.
I've followed the rules all my life, and it's worked well for me.
Stop following the rules. In a game
In
like
a video
Stanley
game.
Parable, you need to stop following,
You know,
doing what you're told.
I should have taken lessons from all of my users along the way. Every time I wrote a software package and deployed it to them, they would come back saying, but it doesn't do this. I tried doing this, and it doesn't give me the result I want. And I said, you did what? That was never intended. Why did you do that? Trying to extract data out of things that didn't have... That wasn't the data it was supposed to be extracting. Ugh. Anyway, should have taken lessons from all my users. All those years, not to follow rules, huh?
Yeah, it's like, so...
Rules don't
those who
apply
played
anymore.
Stanley Parable. Those who played Stanley Parable, you know that very quickly in the game, you come to 2 open doors, right? And you're always supposed to go to the one on your left. Of course, when we started out, Doc goes to the one on the left. and his very first run, he does exactly what he's supposed to, which is fine for the first run, but not optimal if you're looking to have fun with the game. And so the next run, he goes through the door on the right, and then immediately gets back on track through the through the direction. It's just like, you got the same ending twice.
Yeah, I did.
Back when Doc used to play, games had a level structure, and you go through the levels, beginning to end. Now they're experiences. Anyway, Doc, how do we get back to you?
Okay, that's fine. I am still working on building my supports, waiting for the girders to load from the multi-dimensional depot. And
Looks like you have some clipping there, too.
I do have some clipping now here at the end of the line. To see, I'm clear at the end now, where the trains actually first come onto the platform. So, yeah, got a little bit of clipping that I'll have to take care of. But as you see, I've got active trains going on that, so I'm going to have to be careful.
By the way, Heather on Twitch says, Doc, you're retired now. Rules don't apply anymore.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. Okay, so this last row, I'm just going to put in here.
I will
Straight
adapt
across.
a statement made by one of my favorite game designers, who said, "The game is not what It's not the rule book. The game is not what happens in the manual. The game is not the rules of the game. The game is what happens when the player plays it. Which means if you break the rules, that's the game. You're fine. You made the game happen because you're playing the game. The game doesn't happen because a rule book exists."
Well, I hope that's the right one to connect it to.
I think it's the one to the left.
Think
The
so?
one that has the green light.
Oh, yeah, okay. Can see your logic behind that.
To the left by one more. Yeah, that one. Alexa does bring up a good point. She says, this game does have one unbreakable rule. You always have to love the doggos.
Yeah, no killing the doggos.
No filling their inventories full of uranium and kicking them off the map.
Well,
Guys.
you're right, Robert. Well, anyway, it's yeah.
And the monkey with drip says, "What's cooking, Babadoo? Looking dukin' of a rookin'."
What?
I don't know.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay.
Sam Christensen says, "Hey Doc, speaking of any rules in your life so far, would you have any wisdom to share with us young'uns?"
Really? You're going to ask that question? Okay. I share words of wisdom the whole time that we're talking, so we can add them as needed. Okay, so I've added these. Now we got to see if I can add, there are 6 lines here. I've got to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, I've got one extra over there. So we'll just start here and start streaming them along.
Max says, "Hello, Doc. I'm
Hello.
watching your stream from Iran.
Okay.
You are the GOAT. Love you so much."
All right.
Iran.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're safe
Holy
over
cow.
there.
I hope you're safe. Stay safe anyway.
Yeah. Pretty far out of away from where we are.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on over there is it's pretty terrible.
Hmm. Hey Garrett,
Yeah.
you can make these things less luminescent.
Less what?
Less luminescent. You just have to color them that way.
Okay.
What less luminescent?
I guess I'm taking over the stream again for a second. I just turned them black. Garrett, no, you hopefully have the stream up, Garrett.
Give me just a moment.
Okay, so you can make them so that they are black rather than white.
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah, the stream is as of right now still on Dock Building Railway. It hasn't switched over to you, I don't think.
okay, well,
Like that.
yeah,
You'll see it here shortly.
YouTube is a bit
Oh.
faster. See that?
Black.
So I made it black, but I mean,
I was trying to go for an off-white color, but
well, yeah,
off-white
like
seems to fit. But
kind of like that yellowed sort of look.
yeah,
Okay. I also made it matte. I mean, that's okay. Part of the problem is there's just no lighting in this area, right?
yeah, I think we need to get some dark lights behind the dividers.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Okay, anyway, back to that. So,
Yeah,
Undead Taco says, talking about locations, where are y'all located? Pure curiosity.
Um, where we're physically broadcasting from?
Yeah.
We are located in the heart of the U.S. in Missouri, just outside of Joplin, in a town you haven't heard of, and most maps you couldn't find it. So it's
Yep.
it is a town of 125 people, believe it or not. In other words, we're way out in the country.
And we actually have been asked this for a while, and a couple people are already starting to respond. We'd
Mhm.
love to hear where everybody that's currently watching us is from. Volocrum and S4NG Peters from Netherlands, both of them, as well as Alexis, also in the Netherlands. So there's a. Oh, thank you, Metal Thunder. He says X opens the customizer directly. Thank you. I'll use that.
Yeah, that I keep hitting that key all the time on my keyboard, on my keypad, because it's the key just below my um, S key.
Oh yeah.
So I'm busily drawing train lines.
Yeah. And I'm now distracted and no longer working on my task for the day. Because I want to see if I can get this place to flow better.
Oh,
Distraction was inevitable.
yeah, and it's probably good to be distracted. You can't hammer your head on the same thing over and over for too long,
Yeah.
or beat your head against it.
I have to say one of my favorite updates in 1.1 is that when you pick an item, middle mouse click to copy an item, it copies everything with that item now.
Yes,
So when I'm moving signs,
and I noticed that by accident when I had set up a constructor and copied it, and all of a sudden it's already all set up. Oh, way cool.
Alexa says, "So Doc, does that mean that your own family, kids, and grandkids make up like 30% of the town's population?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Well, it was about 100 before they moved in. Basically, they're going to double the size of the town. That's basically what's going to happen. And Metal Thunder's from Florida, over in Gainesville. You know that place, Doc.
I know Gainesville, yeah. Home of the Gators. The Gators.
Very cool. And DeMonkey's from Poland. Fozzie's watching from London.
Right.
Cool.
Should have known with a name like Fozzie. No offense, but that is a very British name, I think.
Fozzie.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Britain, what's the actor who played Dr. House?
Oh, gosh. Come on.
It is so weird to hear him with a British accent when he basically played the American doctor part in what he termed using an American accent that he said was very difficult to master.
Hugh Laurie, thank
Hugh
you.
Laurie, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to hear him talk, because I watched House for several seasons. I think that's a fascinating show. His character is really demented. He's really strange, but anyway, but it's just weird to hear him actually talk in his native, voice.
His best acting job ever was still Monty Python.
He was in Monty Python.
Yeah. For some reason, a bunch of their skits keep on showing up in my feed. A lot of the Ministry of Funny. I think he did Ministry of Funny Walks. I know he did Silly Names and a bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Undead Taco says, House is fun to watch, but as a medical professional, it's painful to hear the medical, quote, info.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's probably quite a bit slanted, I assume.
See, Doc's a lot more permissive with television. As long as it's just good fun, he's okay with it. Oh man, there's so many shows I just can't stand. I hate pretty much all detective TV shows, all the CSIs and NCIS and all those. I can't stand it because the tech is just so dumb.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden they're able to do something in just 2 seconds when you know that it takes forever to do something like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, when you get into my expertise area, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
When you start seeing managers that, I mean, that's probably one reason why I struggled watching The Office,
Yeah.
because I just couldn't stand the guy being totally inept.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the whole shtick. I mean, if you didn't like that, you didn't like the show. And that's basically where it landed with me.
Undead Taco says, "Oh, I feel that
Yeah.
way in general. Whatever's fun, but with medicine, sometimes it's like up is down and left is duck, and it gets unbearable."
Yep.
And then my expertise is stories in general, and I can't I can't watch TV at all anymore.
Yeah.
All the fake drama, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like whenever somebody watches a TV show, what they're looking for is drama. And there are so many shows that do stupid things to create fake drama, and it's always contrived and it's always frustrating to listen to. And it's still fun because it's dramatic and whatever, but some of those shows just get really egregious.
I think the best example of that would probably be Supernatural, because I generally really enjoyed the show, but the amount of fake drama there is just off the charts.
Yeah.
So a few more people. Limp Dick is from Denmark.
Ooh. Ooh. Look what Andrew Twining did.
20 gift memberships on YouTube. Awesome.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Thank you so much.
And now it's assigning them out, guys. Watch what's happening.
Please
Mick
thank
and
Andrew for
Justin
being so
Snyder and
generous.
Alex Gaming and Pokey Collector Colin, Charo, Nathan, Saul Goodman, Jessica French, Metal Thunder, Nude Level 3. I feel like I can hear GPU crying, Doc. Okay, Dark Plate, Lincoln Park, Mahai, Nick P, Andrew, Mischievous Quanar, all these people who aren't talking a lot in our chat we're seeing now. So Dopamine Field and Jens Hasselhun and Gold all received memberships from Andrew Twining. So thank you for those memberships, and any of you who want to join the member Discord can do so. Robert will tell you how. Member part of the Discord, and if you want to come play with us with that membership for this month, you can come play with us too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Caffeine says, "Holy cannoli."
Yeah.
Andrew says, "Love your shorts and thank you for your content."
Appreciate you benefiting the channel, helping us out quite a bit that way.
And Metal Thunder says, "I'm young, but I'm hoping to become an engineer. I love this game. I love watching the streams."
Yeah. And my background is mostly developing procurement systems, so you can kind of tell how that, along with my engineering family background and management background, you can see how that all intertwines with playing Satisfactory here.
Volacrum, I take that personally. You're not wrong, but I still take that personally.
Oh, are you serious?
He says, "Supernatural was a teenage drama made for 12-year-old girls, though."
Oof. Were you a 12-year-old boy while you were watching it?
No. Supernatural didn't come out till I was an adult.
And they just kept continuing it and continuing it and continuing it. How many seasons did they go? Or are they still going? I don't know.
13 or
They're not still
14 or
going.
something like that.
They're not still going, are
It's
they?
been for a
No.
very
They
long
finally
time.
ran out of content.
They were dropped,
it-
and then they funded their own for a while, and dropped again, and came back, and
Yeah.
They were having fun making it. People were having fun watching it. So it's just like, hey, I will give Supernatural somewhat of a pass because it gained such a cult following that it didn't need to have any real story to it. It just people wanted to see the two main characters fight monsters. That's it.
sure. Captain says, Robert, they had a crossover with Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo.
Really?
Yes, they did. They had fun with the show. No, and I'm not saying it's a serious show. I'm just saying that I enjoyed it, but they, yeah. Guys, don't make me justify enjoying something. Gosh darn it.
And he gives me a hard time for enjoying
Oh.
Hallmark romances, huh?
Look, yes. I have stopped, okay, we're getting into this. Thank you very much. It's your guys' fault. Ugh. Okay, I'm not really a fan of much. I was never a fan of a lot of things. Never a fan of a sports team,
He
whatever
could
else.
be
And I was never a fan of anything. And you know what? When I became involved, it's like, you know what? I kind of envy these people who have their sports team. It's kind of cool if they're able to just cheer for something. That's awesome. You know what? I'm a fan of something, and I decided that I liked some things, and so I was going to become a fan of those things. And you know what happens? Kathleen Kennedy!
What? You got to explain that one.
Yeah, she got put in charge of Star Wars in episodes 7 through 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's almost single-handedly ruined the franchise.
Ugh.
I mean, Lucas
It
had
didn't help that she decided to get two different directors.
for the 3 movies she did make.
And then alternated
Yeah.
them. And then didn't hand them scripts, and then, oh my gosh. And basically, it's just become everything I've decided I really enjoy, that I really like, ends up getting ruined. So, you know what? I'm just not a fan of anything anymore. I just don't have favorite things.
You just don't have favorite things.
Because people just
that
go
was a
and
different
ruin it.
direction than I was expecting.
Okay.
See, I thought you were going to go into how a Hallmark is emotional brainwashing.
Oh, it is. But, now that we have AI stories on YouTube, Hallmark's got nothing.
Yeah, those
Leaving the
AIs.
designated zone has been reviewed by other pioneers. Quote,
And then
"It really
Tucker-
I think
sucked,
Coco
and then I
Melon for
died.
adults.
Don't recommend." Unquote.
Dopa what? Dopa what?
Coco Melon for adults.
Okay.
Wow. That's...
Okay.
Yes. Completely correct.
We have to give Robert a chance to recover now. Okay.
Caffeinated says, I was about to say no one's wrong for what they like to watch, and then Doc said the wrong answer. Hallmark.
You know, I like watching it because my wife likes watching it, and I like watching things with her. So,
That's the correct answer.
Okay.
That's a great
Okay.
answer.
We all love Mama Doc, but we know
Your
that she has
6 love
absolutely
support is
no
not
taste.
compatible with this environment.
Now
Turn
let's be
back.
nice.
Let's be nice.
That goes
Again,
over
we love her, but
that goes over a line. There's no but. We love her. Period. End of story. We may not love the same things she loves, but we love her.
yes.
Carefully draw the distinction, please.
But we can also know that she has terrible taste.
Okay, Change of conversation.
Alexa says, "Thank you, Gareth. I love Hallmark movies too."
You're thanking Garrett for something about Hallmark movies? Has he said anything valid about Hallmark movies?
No, but you know.
I will say that Hallmark movies are at least full and complete productions, as opposed to the AI slop that we get on YouTube nowadays.
Yeah,
That stuff's truly bad.
that is. I would agree.
Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with a Hallmark movies. Generally, they show the transformation of a character from an incomplete adult to a complete adult. Somebody who is damaged, broken, jaded, cynical, some negative state to a positive state. There is artificial drama, a lot of artificialness to it, but it's generally good stuff happens, right? It's just a very strict formula.
And it follows that same
They got a
formula
very
every
good
time.
formula.
Yep, follows that same formula all the time.
Okay.
Doc's trains go back and forth or in a circle. They go in a circle. These trains are coming in here, they're dropping off, and they exit out the other side over there and go out the back of the factory. So I'll show that here in a minute after I draw this one more line here.
Mm-hmm.
Doc,
Yes, sir.
have you ever heard of Cocomelon?
I have not. Don't know what you're talking about when you bring that up.
Well, it's a kids
Please
show.
return to your designated zone.
It is a
Failure to comply
YouTube
will result
kids
in
show.
termination.
Okay.
And it is, if I understand right, the single most watched show of all of YouTube, hands down.
Okay.
And they manage that. We're talking in the billions of views per video. Billions.
Wow. Okay.
And the way they do it, it looks on the outset like any normal kids show.
And
But
when we say
testing
kids, we're talking
the
about
show.
for toddlers and babies.
Yes.
Yeah, really, really young.
Really young. They set kids down in front of it in a testing room, and they have a TV showing the thing.
Okay.
And they have another TV off to the side showing some boring, mundane stuff. And every time their eyes flick away from the TV to go to the other TV that's showing the boring, mundane thing, they note it down and they change the episode such that every single one is perfect at grabbing the kid's attention at all times
And keeping it
at all times, such that kids who watch Cocomelon a fair amount throw complete and utter tantrums when they're not allowed to watch it. It is beyond horrifying the way these kids watch it, react when they're not allowed to watch Cocomelon. It is extremely addictive.
They are inducing a hypnotic state. It is indistinguishable from a hypnotic state.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
Caffeinated says, "This is why I'm showing my kids Star Trek, the animated series, when they grow up."
Okay.
That's a good choice.
So you think I ought to correct these over here, huh?
Yeah, you can. You should. I don't know.
Because, see, part of the reason why is because it just extended too far here.
Oh, and there's another joint right past that. You can draw that next
Exactly.
joint too. Yeah.
These all are on this joint, and this one is correct on that joint. And as soon as that train goes by, I'll check the other one. And that one's off just a little bit. All of them stop right at the kink up there, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So I stopped these right at the kink, right at where it comes down.
Yeah.
And I stopped these all right here on this joint. So basically, I'll just take this one out. I'll, uh, I'll extend this one to that joint, redraw it from here to
There
there,
you go. Yeah, that's nice.
and it fixes it.
And you asked about dopamine earlier, right?
Yeah,
Um, dopamine is the chemical that works with the reward
I
centers
know
of the
what
brain.
I know what it does. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, Cocoa Melon is just perfect at stimulating dopamine. Which is very bad for somebody's development. Very, very, very bad.
when you constantly stimulate it, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, with dopamine, you need highs and lows in order for it to work properly, in order for it to motivate you to get things done.
But if it's constantly stimulated when you're too young,
And Cocomelon is not an educational show at all. It's not teaching skills or anything. It's the I think they said the average clip on Cocomelon, the average camera shot is like 3 seconds long or so. So it's super fast, constantly draws the eye, and most like the little stories they tell, these little skits, are too short, never actually do anything. They never really a story. And so while you'll have a kid getting ready for school or something like that, it won't actually go through the whole process where the kid, oh no, I had to get ready for school. Oh boy, where did I leave my backpack? Oh good, I found my backpack. Now I get to go to school. Like it doesn't like that's a story, right? It has a problem, it has a process to get there, and it has a resolution. That never happens. It's just kids getting ready for school, and we see a montage of brushing teeth and combing hair, and then the very next scene is something completely different, right? So it's not teaching anything. It's not creating links from ideas to completion. It's not building, the structures the kid needs in their brain. It's just
okay.
slop.
All right. Well, I've fixed the slope on all of these except one. One of them I can't fix, but you'll probably have a hard time telling which one.
I like the fact they look very uniform now.
Yeah, the only one that's a little bit slight off is this one right here.
Yeah.
It comes out half of a foundation longer, but because of the curve the way it is, I couldn't correct that, and it'll be fine. I'm satisfied with that. Okay, so now I have all of my tracks come.
Fix-it property will not function
sorry.
outside of fix-it property.
Metamita
Fix-it
Bacon Man
property
asks
to
when
fix-it
the
property
next
immediately.
showcase is, and that should be happening at the beginning of July. So in about 2 weeks.
Sour Limit saying it can't be more addictive than Satisfactory, though. Well, you'd be surprised, I guess. Okay, I'm going to continue working from the opposite end to connect them. The problem is I do have active train lines down there that I have to worry about, but I'll keep connecting these, and crossing over other trains if I have to. I could also work on their exits. So I've connected the first 4. I just need to get this one, that train onto this track. So I need the number 1 train to be out here on the number 4, 5, 6. There are 11 tracks, and I need it to be on the 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. I need to be 7654. So I need number 4 to be on the 7. Wow. So I need number 4 train to be on number 7. I wonder if there's a. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build build a sign, build some signage out here to label the tracks.
Oh, I think that's a good idea. Garrett, I think I'm changing the vibe of the basement.
Why?
I knew you wouldn't like it.
Well, I suppose it depends on what you're changing the vibe to.
You'll have to come back and look in the customer complaints area.
So is it
Oh, you change
Garrett?
it back to the bright.
Garrett controls the vibe.
I don't know about it, that I control it, but
I only just barely replaced the floor.
oh, label signs.
But basically, it was so dark in here, we couldn't put anything in here at all because it was just too dark, right?
Yeah,
I like this better,
but like
but it's like,
it seems too clean.
Too
It's
clean, huh?
I think,
Yeah,
well, okay, I'm going to share
I mean,
my
I
screen
get
for a
what you're
second.
saying. I totally get what you're saying.
So I changed from out here, we have I think these are concrete floors, to the, this shiny concrete floor. And yeah, it's too clean, but it also, you can actually see what's going on. And it still is dark. It still has kind of that abandoned feel. I'm going to change this kind of peachy color to, because it's not quite meeting the color scheme now. But it's still dark. It's
Yeah.
still. I think I generally like it better. Because before we couldn't have any sort of light source. Like, even having all those back there wasn't really doing it. Like, if we go back to, wasn't really doing it. Like, if we go back to,
Yeah. Can we at least change it to the matte floor?
the matte concrete.
Oh yeah, that. No,
Okay.
I put down a couple. Yeah, it's just the reflective made it way too much.
Okay.
It can't look shiny. It has to look dingy, and the matte helps with that.
Okay. Well, I'll go back to Doc now.
Okay. Well, I'm getting sign labels out here.
Okay.
Making it look very official.
Nice. I like that. And on a line below it, you can say what material's on it later.
Could possibly do that. I wasn't planning on doing that.
Okay. So Blade
Okay, now they're
TV
getting a little
says,
bit
got a
off.
split. Hope I can join chat when I get home.
Okay, well, drive safe. Or ride safe if you're riding a transit. They're getting a little bit off. The first one is nicely centered. The second one is mostly centered, but by the time you get to the third one, it's getting a little bit off. Fourth one is even more dramatic, and the fifth one is barely on the edge.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to put like I wish there was a way to configure these and move them.
Yeah.
So it looks like I can put two, and then I have to squeeze them together and then I can do two and then squeeze them together. I'd like it to be patterned, so to speak. Look at that. I copied this one, and
Wait, why did the color change?
I changed it because we now have a bluish tone on the floors, trying to have this off-white yellow made it look pink.
Tone. The floors don't have a bluish tone. What are you talking about?
By
The only bluish tone is coming from those luminescent tarps.
Okay, then it's rendering different on our screens. Because when we put the floors against the tarps, it made the tarps, instead of just looking off-white, made the tarps look pink.
Options, video.
So, Trumpkin says, my biggest request for 1.2 would be the ability to move placed items.
yes, exactly. Okay, so if I'm back here and I am looking, track 1, track 2 is a little bit off, track 3 is a little bit off, a little bit farther off.
Redstone Squirrel asks, can you put them in portrait mode? Would that allow you to line it up a little bit better?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Because, I mean, you did lock these to a specific location on the ground. In the foundations.
What do you mean in the foundation?
As in, when I put in these rail lines,
Oh yeah, they're right in the middle of the
they're all centered in
foundation.
the rail line. So, yeah.
So they should be able to do it right in the middle of this.
Okay, so
Thing
now
right
check the
there.
one to the right versus the wall. Now look at the wall directly above. Yeah,
should be
it's
the left.
that's not centered on its wall.
That would be the center there.
Oh
Center
no.
there.
Shirt Brother says, just went to apply some new thermal paste to my CPU and bent the pins by accident. Oh, ouch.
I think this is what they call a temporal perception anomaly.
Yeah, that color's fine, Garrett.
I was just setting it to the same ones that you had over there.
Which ones?
Turns
Oh,
out
sorry.
Turns
Never
out these billboards are exactly a foundation width, and since all my tracks are
mind. What are you
exactly
talking about?
all my tracks are exactly a foundation width, I should be able to just place them one
There you
right
go.
after another. Whoops.
Did you change the color of these tarps?
The ones on the right, I changed them back so I could get them, look at them side by side.
There's also a very big difference between the chain link side and the non-chain link side. Lexa says the biggest request for 1.2 would be steel frame corner pieces.
Steel frame corner pieces.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to go with this color, I'd at least take the red out of it, bring it more brown.
Sure.
What color do you use for this? You said you just changed it back. What color?
The custom swatch you've got, there's no red in it.
The custom swatch I currently have is the blue.
Well, then why didn't it?
Yeah,
it
because
changed
this
for
is
you, then
way
it didn't change.
this color here is not the same color it was before.
I darkened it slightly, but that's it. It's hash B1AE9E and 939183. I'll say those again when you're ready.
Okay, so from a distance, now I'm interjecting my thing. Try not to talk over you. From a distance, we should be able to see, what track number is coming in on each one of these. And this is track 1. And I will do the same out here. Put some signage out here so I can also keep track. This direction.
Yeah, darker makes them look a lot better. They're still pinkish, but
All right, what kind
So
of...
I like what you're doing with these. What do you have to do to get them to? Oh, there. That's what you do. Okay, never mind.
what did you do? I have to put up a pole. Painted
I
green.
held control.
Really? Oh, that's gotta be new. Oh my gosh.
Held control for what?
Apparently label signs now lay flush on a ceiling if you hold control.
Huh.
Cool. Oh, Gontrigrim has put in his 1.2 request. He wants auto walk.
Auto walk?
Yeah.
Oh, in other words, he wants to be able to press the button and just sit back and
Yep.
you're walking straight, and if you don't change it, it just keeps going straight. That works. Boy, you got a huge structure over here. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's Garrett's gigantic tunnel pit thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a blueprinter on the top, just for good measure.
It's decoration.
Oh, it is, huh?
I don't know.
Well, and there's 2 blueprinters on the top of our hub.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we like blueprinters here, guys?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And I found these nice wall partitions for my sign. Look at that. Cool sign, isn't it?
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Errol says, two guys arguing about colors is hilarious. Look.
Yep. You mean when you make beautiful steel ceiling frame, to not have a corner steel frame piece really hurts all the work you put in. Okay. Oh, right after this, we're heading out.
Yeah, that's right. You do have to go.
Yep. Just need to keep remembering to watch the clock. We got an hour to keep doing things.
What about that pattern?
Why?
It looks a little more corporate.
Okay, what part of that pattern are you talking about? Are you talking about them being doubled? It doubled, I completely agree. This weird hatch mark, whatever. No. The offset's weird.
Yeah, doubled up definitely.
Yeah,
Do you know?
I'll immediately
I
listen.
do kind of like them offset.
Notice what they did to the billboard?
Uh-huh.
They put an arrow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes. Huge improvement.
I don't like what I have to do here is I can't scoot it down. Look at this. Pressing the down arrow moves it forward that direction.
You now have to use they fixed signs. You have to use page up, page down to go up and down, vertical.
Thank you.
Yes, but that's a massive fix. Yeah, Garrett, the offset's dumb. No corporate office ever does that offset. Every single one of them.
Corporate offices do that all the time.
No, what they do is they have the stupid, what are those drop ceilings called? And they'll alternate which ones they're in. But they never do like a 20% overlap like that. Ew. No. Get that. What are you doing in this room anyway? Get out of here. Get.
I was just sharing some ideas.
Get out of here! Get out!
It definitely.
Wow. You think they had just. Wow.
What? Why can't I move?
Because
I can't.
Robert used a
I-
freeze
I-
ray on you.
Oh, what? My game has completely destroyed itself.
Oops.
Somehow my cursor got out of my screen during that, and I was clicking around in Discord while trying to fight Robert, and then yeah, now my game's completely frozen. Oh,
The Novelist was super
did you die
effective.
too, at least?
Oh yeah, I used a nuclear Novelist in a tiny space. Captain says, "Share good ideas next time. Be gone." And Giuseppe said, "Get out of here, you." Out!
Okay, what is
Out!
what? No.
Why are you attacking me in the?
Would you put this on the
You
screen?
attacked me.
Well, what's going on the screen?
What do
Please?
you mean I attacked you? I have berries in my hand. He flies in this No. Gosh darn it, he got out in time.
I'm glad he got out on time.
Did you?
I was trying to go back
upstairs?
up. I was trying to go back up before you could get off. If you go back in there,
I mean, if you keep on threatening it.
Donogram says, and this is how World War Doc 1 began. Yeah, with Garrett coming in here messing with my ceiling. Excuse you, blocking my doors. Ooh.
Locking your doors? I got no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't.
Why does my cursor keep on leaving the screen?
Because you went to Linux.
Oh, please. Never had that problem before. Okay.
You guys, come on. Sibling rivalry. Come on. A
Get
little bit
out of here.
much.
Get out. This is my area. And stay out.
Okay.
There we go. Oof. Back to Doc.
Back to Doc.
Caffeinated says, train building ASMR with fratricide in the background.
Oh, gosh. You know, we tried to teach our kids to get along and to be nice to one another, but you can tell how much I succeeded.
And Tashi, first time Chad over on Twitch, says, Satisfactory won't keep cursor sometimes. Yeah.
If you're in a windowed environment, if you're full screen, I can't.
It shouldn't, yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't do it.
Leafy says, I went AFK to do some chores while watching a weather video. My autoplay brought me here. Well, welcome, Leafy. Good to see you again.
Glad to have you.
Garrett?
Is he mucking with you again?
He...
I'm not inside your room, Robert.
All right, show what happened this time.
There's nothing to show. I'm dead. Oh. He did the I'm not touching you thing of taking a nuclear novelist, opening my door, throwing it into my room, and blowing it up.
And you were in there?
I ran out of the door and just didn't quite get far enough out in time.
Oh, my.
I managed to stick one to you.
Oh, man.
Caffeinated says, oh, and fratricide is the word of the day for Doc viewers. Learn it well. We'll be seeing a lot of it. Unfortunately, Karen won't
My
be
boys are
alone.
having too much fun on my live stream. I guess. Okay. And
No
there's
icy night, no breathe. But by the way, Garrett, you also deconstructed the wall I put up to keep you out. So you did touch my stuff. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I just found an obstruction in a public right-of-way, so I dutifully removed it, as is my job duty as a citizen.
as a what?
As a citizen.
Oh, a satisfactory citizen
Garrett is
Yes.
not satisfactory.
who is acting unsatisfactorily. Can I volunteer to be that son?
So Tashi, we have and Tashi asked, how does your point of view switching tech work? We are on a 4 PC setup right now. So Doc's playing on his computer. I have the stream PC sitting up next to me, and that's what's actually streaming to you. But it's connecting to both my computer and Doc's computer. So I can swap between his point of view and my point of view. And the 4th PC is our server. And yeah, it's pretty weird. Archon asks Doc, did you think you'd still be mediating sibling squabbles at this time in your and their lives?
One can only hope, you know.
See you later, Icy Knight. Oh, there's some lag.
You finally got some lag, huh?
Well, not finally. That's ooh. Alexa says, highlighted her message, said, so Doc, did you rub the lamp or feed your unicorn when you wanted them to get along? Because if you did, I have to tell you, fairy tales are fake. So is the genie.
Which means it didn't work.
No. Wow.
All right. Weeper 192 says, just tuned in. What's the current goal? Right now, I'm getting the 11 train station pairs lined up with 11 tracks going into the Gigafactory. So while Garrett is off decorating and supposedly deconstructing hypertubes and replacing them with elevators inside the Gigafactory, but I have a feeling he got a bit distracted. Robert was working on the logistics in the basement below the main floor, but I believe he got a little bit distracted also. So it remains to be seen what they're doing at this point.
Yes, I was a little bit distracted by Garrett coming in here, telling me how to do my job.
And of course, Robert does not like to be told what to do.
I mean, when you say that you're going to change something that I built, that I put in place,
Excuse you?
I have to come look.
I put this lighting in. Okay. That was the issue. I built this room. No, you built the room originally.
I built the room. I put in the partitions.
And I built the customer service area and the customer service desk.
I built the customer desk. I built the desk.
Oh my gosh.
You spruced it up.
Yeah, see. So I'm the one who made this place home. You made it my office.
Like I say, they've been distracted.
Yes, I've been distracted. Quite seriously distracted.
I get the feeling the Gigafactory will never be completed if I can't quell the nonsense that goes on.
See, this is why when we got to the office this morning, Doc, we thought about what we were gonna do today. We're like, we should have Garrett here so we can work on the Gigafactory.
Yeah, and then we invited him, and what happened?
Gordon Berg says my youngest is 48 and they're still bickering.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate side effect. At least, Robert and Garrett actually do get along quite well outside of.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Caffeinated says, Doc, if you're taking auditions, Icy Knight and I will gladly replace your sons with productive counterparts.
All right, Robert, you've been warned. Garrett, you've been warned. Replacements are on their way.
I like how
Can I get a productive counterpart that I can send off to work on my behalf?
notice that Doc passed the warning on to you, not to me.
Well, I said you first. Anyway.
So Wiper192 asks, how many hours does this world have in total?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Do we know, Robert? Just a second. Let me number
Yeah, you can
these.
just check
Change the
real quick.
numbers here, and then I'll just check real quick. Lost track of the
Hey,
numbers.
Garrett.
You can check by checking the last autosave. Yep. I plan to do that here shortly.
What happened, Garrett?
Still there, Garrett?
Nothing.
Uh-oh. That sounds like something.
It sounded like definitely like something.
What did you do? What did you do?
Nothing.
Robert tried to blow me up.
Get up!
Hey.
Garrett?
Okay. Okay. 822 hours on this save.
So I put up walls so he couldn't come into my area. I put up like 6 of them. Behind the final wall, I put up... How many nukes are you letting off? Behind the final wall, he's just irradiating the place now.
He what?
Behind the final wall, I put in a nuke and a cluster obelisk. So when he deconstructed it, it blew up. He then proceeded to enter my area because somehow he survived and blew me up.
And blew you up. Tit for tat, huh? One of the unspoken updates from 1.1 is that you can now place catwalks on the ground and don't require a foundation first. Oh, nice.
Oh, thank goodness.
That's got to be a big deal. That has got to be a big deal. because that was so much frustration before. Especially for exploring, absolutely. Instead of having to build foundations, you can build up with catwalks. A lot easier to build those.
Oh, really? We're gonna play this tit for tat, Robert?
As opposed to me minding on my own business the whole time. As opposed to that.
Look, that was self-defense.
That was not
You came
self-defense.
into my area. You came into my area with cluster novelist. That was self-defense.
I'm sorry. And what was the time right before that when you came into my area?
Justified retribution.
For the previous event when you came into my area to fight me, which was justified retribution for the previous time when you were in my area and wouldn't leave.
I was taking justified retribution.
Okay, guys.
Doc,
Yes.
we have problems.
Yeah. Why don't you leave the area?
I would
And-
love for him to leave the area.
Problem is, it's happening off screen.
He's never.
Satisfactory is such a chill
That's
game.
what Doc's worried about. It's happening on screen.
Dark Rosen asked a little bit ago if we restarted for 1.1, and no. I don't know if 822 hours have happened since the stream. And since 1.1.
Right, we did not save. We did not resave after 1.1.
So yeah, this is actually our Gigafactory, which previously had become unusable because of too much lag, and so we came back to it. Now that 1.1 has dropped, and it's been significantly improved. So. White
right.
says Satisfactory is such a chill game. They said, not possible to make while playing. They said.
Not possible to bicker while playing?
Yeah, well, apparently it is.
It is possible.
So TJ from DK. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, whoever told you that was lying.
TJ from DK says, so Doc, I recently ordered something off eBay, and the package just arrived in the mail today.
Okay.
So I've been sitting here on my bed eating the peanuts. If I continue to eat the rest of them, will I get sick?
If they're styrofoam peanuts, yes. Cease and desist.
Why?
Why are you eating they're called peanuts, but they're not edible peanuts.
They're not. No.
Not edible peanuts. No.
And Alexa says, guys, don't bicker. You're both pretty.
Have you seen them?
Doc!
Oh.
And hey, can you slide to the left a little bit? You're off camera a bit.
Okay.
You're kind of off to the side there.
There we go. There we go.
Wow.
Oh, stay on the track. Okay, here we
In
go.
fact, I can.
By the way, I am on a live track, but I want to keep track of which track I am on.
Right. There we go. Sorry, I should have adjusted that camera earlier. John Connor says it's 1:13 a.m. here. I'll be resting now.
Yep.
Catch you 3 next time. Happy grinding, Doc.
Oh, you betcha. You bet.
See you later, John.
You know, I have to say I never would have expected to hear that coming from Doc's mouth.
Okay.
He's such a nice guy. Why would he ever say that?
I would never have accused either of you of being pretty.
Accused us of being pretty.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this track 4 one that comes from clear over there needs to go over to that one. From track 4 to 5, 6, 7.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm as pretty as a princess.
Wow.
Ogre
Okay.
princess.
Ogre princess, did you say?
Mhm.
Okay.
Red Zebra Bear says, "Got to go for a D&D camp. Thanks everyone for the background activity."
A D&D camp. You're going to go off and have fun, huh? All
Enjoy.
right. Enjoy.
So Alexa says that line's actually from a show of two guys bickering, and the woman in between you both says, "You're both pretty," and presses enter with what was saying, what they were arguing over. Oh, okay.
I mean, I've heard the line before.
Yeah.
I've used the line before.
Serge LeBlanc.
Whether it was true or not, right?
Yeah.
Hey Doc, big fan. I watched a lot of your shorts and tips. Question about your Gigafactory. How much power are you producing to power this beast?
We are producing just over 300 gigawatts with a nuclear power plant and several large coal power, not coal. What kind of fuel is it? The rocket fuel? No, they're not rocket fuel. It's the red stuff, right? What's the stuff in the red canister?
That's rocket fuel. Or turbo fuel?
Turbo
Well, it went
fuel.
from turbo fuel, we upgraded to rocket fuel.
Did we really?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, no. We upgraded all of our drones to rocket fuel, but no, the generator's still on turbo fuel.
Yeah.
Leafy asks, are those conveyors on the wall?
No, those are hypertubes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are hypertubes up there. Soon to be replaced, if Garrett gets to work, soon to be replaced with elevators taking you from floor to floor, just going to the first floor next to an elevator and then going up to another floor if you desire to.
Wiper says, how often do you miscalculate an automation as a result have to rebuild 3 hours from one stupid little mistake?
Never.
Oof.
I don't think I've ever had that dramatic consequence for it.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I'd probably say at that point that it's just not worth rebuilding.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd agree.
Don't worry, it builds character.
It builds character, huh?
Yeah. I mean, doesn't it make you a better person to watch everything, to have to tear down everything that you've ever built?
No.
No.
Garrett?
I'm sorry. Games are supposed to be punishment, right? Dark Souls taught me this.
Souls taught you that. Oh, gee.
The only people who enjoy Dark Souls are people with PTSD. Stick by that stick.
I mean, you're absolutely right. You have to find some joy in the pain.
All right. I have managed to get this one fully.
Alexa says, "You know what
Connected.
builds character? Apologizing to Robert."
Yeah.
I think character can wait to be built another day.
Tomoki98 says Turbo Fuel, first time chat. Appreciate you coming out of hiding there and saying something. Appreciate that. We are currently at 66 viewers on YouTube and 39 viewers on Twitch. So we've been hovering a little over 100 people total watching us for a while now. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
We
awesome.
have gone from 1111 at the start of the video, 1111 followers, and we've gained 11 more followers during the live stream. So that's pretty cool. Thank you to all of you at that follow button. I appreciate that. And if you're watching on Twitch and haven't hit that follow button, please do. Oh, there's another one. Now that I'm reminding folks, there's another one. 1123 now. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We hit our 90,000 subscriber base yesterday, and with 1.1 coming out, we're running about 200 new subscribers on YouTube. That's not the paid ones. That's kind of like a follower on Twitch, if you're not familiar with both platforms together. Yeah, we have been gaining about 200 subscribers on Twitch each day. So that's pretty cool. On YouTube each day, pardon me. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, Kevin said now, he says, "Have a good time, y'all. Got to run to an afternoon full of meetings for the next 3 hours."
Oh, fun. I don't envy you. I loved getting rid of that corporate world.
So Leafy asked, "What's with the
Uh-huh.
green, yellow, and red lines on those train tracks? I clearly haven't gotten this far."
Oh, those when you're placing a when you're placing a block signal. Now, what the block signal does is it separates your track into blocks, and the block signal allows only one train on the block at any one time. So I intersperse block signals in there to make sure that the trains stay spaced apart so they don't run into each other, frankly. Just so they don't run into each other. And once they go past the block signal, like for example, this block signal is showing that no train can go past the block signal because there's a train sitting there. That makes sure that the train stops here and does not go and run into the back of that train. Notice this one is green, meaning that the next section of train is empty. So I have another block signal shortly after the train station, and that allows the train, that once the train leaves the station, it allows this to empty and allow a train to the station. Now, your blocks can be really short, they can be really long. Out in the wild where the trains are picking up product, the blocks are really long. But I kind of got a feel for, you had to play with it for a while to feel how long they should be and how much you should space them out when they're out there. When I have 6 trains on a single track, which is the case for iron back there, when I have 6 trains, you need at least 7 block signals to divide your track up into at least 6 blocks, so the trains never exist on the same block and so they don't run into each other. So that spaces them out and keeps them all running smoothly. So that's what happens when you place a block signal. You can kind of see where those blocks are based on the highlighter showing you where the next block starts, and you can follow that while you have the block signal initiated. You can follow it and see where each block ends, and where it begins. So you can see the highlights just because I've got the tool showing that I'm trying to place a block signal. Alrighty. So hopefully that helps. Very useful tools for keeping Fix-It happy and not having your trains run into. Okay, so here, 1, 2, 3, I need to bring it out to here. So bring it out to there to connect to it. And want to do the same with this one. So we'll get farther over here. And make sure it's straight. Here it comes out to the same distance. There we go. And I'm going to destroy this track here because I need this track to be the one to. And what you want to do when you're making a turn is best when it's 3 frames long in making the turn and 3 frames this way. So it goes on basically a 3x3 grid here, and the train is actually on this other grid. So we want 3 here, and then when you place the train track, you can place it here and make it gently curve, and in it goes. Now, with this track, I need to make sure that there's, let's see, it wants to connect. Oh, Robert, look at this. It's allowing me to connect it all the way anywhere.
Interesting. A little more free than before.
A lot more freedom than before. And so you can kind of line it up for when it's actually free there. And there it goes. No, it didn't. No, it didn't connect. See, it's just a bump there.
It just kind of went wherever.
Yep. So, nope, it didn't work. Get that out of there before it causes a problem. So on this one, I also want to go 1, 2, 3, and I want to have this connection end right on that. So then I've got the ability to connect to there. Then I'll go ahead and connect this one back to that one. And now I've created my interchange. And of course I want to put a block signal. It looks like I got this one a little bit off, but nope, that's fine. Yeah, yuck.
So it's just so found us over on Twitch. So cool. Glad to have you over here. And Caffeinate says it's too many trains. My brain isn't braining. Too many trains, Doc. Sorry.
Okay.
So we got a technical question from Chubbs.
Okay.
Chubbs asked, at what point of progression would you recommend to tear down a factory and rebuild for efficiency? Like in early game, I have 4 iron nodes. Should I focus making the basic materials and stack them, or connect them to produce the next level of parts?
Okay, I'm going to read that one so that I can know.
Yeah.
At what point of progression would you recommend to tear down a factory and rebuild for efficiency? Like in the early game, I have 4 iron nodes. Should I focus on making basic materials and stack them? I'm not sure about the and stack them, but how far are you in the game, Chubbs? Or connect them to produce the next level parts? I would connect them as soon as you have enough iron coming out. And if you've got 4 iron nodes, even if they're impure nodes, you're going to get quite a bit of iron out of that. Should be able to make plates and rods and keep them going to where you can then shuffle the plates into making reinforced iron plate, which is your next level of conveyor belts that you need that for. So you can take 2 of those nodes and easily have them make ingots and then make plates and plates and then send those plates into making rods and screws and reinforced iron plates. So yeah. Okay, phase 5. Oh, by now definitely produce the next level of parts. Yes, definitely. And I would, at phase 5 you should be efficiently using those to the point of maybe bringing ingots to a common place and making those ingots into parts that go on to more complex parts. So anyway, phase 5, maybe you're not on phase 5, but tier 5. Phase 5 is where we're at now. Where you see the phase 5 up
Yeah,
there.
it's end game.
So if you're in phase 5, you've completed all of the tiers, and you're looking to make those really, really complex parts.
So Metal Thunder was asking, what about curving the tracks like more? You were talking about putting on a 3x3 to make a perfect 90-degree curve.
Yeah.
Can you curve it tighter?
Can you curve it tighter? Generally, a little bit tighter, but not much. A little bit tighter, and it says the curve bends too much.
And yeah, what happens when you try to curve it tighter is that it won't terminate it with like being 90 degrees off the center. It'll curve tighter, but then afterwards it'll curve too much, and then you'll have to curve it back the other direction to get it to go straight. It takes a 3x3 to curve it exactly 90 degrees.
Yep. Yep. Good commentary, Robert. All right, I have another track that I have to put an in-use track and double connect it to a station while I move the train at the far end to this particular track out here. So rinse and repeat from what I just did before, and I've got a half an hour to do it. Let's see if I can get her done. Okay, I need to come up to this joint here, so F5 this one to this joint. Right there, I believe it was. Yep. And then creating a joint there, creating a joint probably there. Yep. Yep, that was the joint there. So should be able to curve that in and connect it right there. And connect. This earlier one, right? Wow, I brought that one all the way in without a joint. Okay. And it accuses it of being too long to do that. Interesting. Interesting. So I didn't follow the 3x3 rule here. 1, 2, 3. There should have been a connection right here. So I've got to deconstruct this here and quickly put in, not that. Why did I get a train station?
I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Okay, I need to... 1, 2, okay. 1, 2, 3. That should have come to here before the curve. There.
There you go. Nice.
Now I should be able to curve this, curve that into
That's not the way it works. It's 2-to-1, not 2-to-2.
What do you mean 2-to-2? What are you talking about?
As in, you have one incoming line goes to 2 different train stations.
Yes.
Okay, that's what you have right now.
Yes, one incoming line going to 2 train stations.
Okay.
These are 2 active train stations where I have active
Right.
trains on that line, and I need to move them to this line.
You need to move. Oh, okay, so you're reconnecting the old. Okay,
Right.
I'm sorry.
So I'm taking the new one and connecting it
Gotcha.
so that I can move that train over. 1, 2.
Hey, Garrett, come over to the my room again. Take a look at this. I think our new parts have improved the.
Improves the look.
Yeah. I have made a new thing for better benches. There's no bombs back here or anything. What do you think?
Oh yeah, the I-beam. Oh yeah, the I-beam makes for great benches.
Yep. See, look at this. The two of us can talk without hurting each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it took me a while. I had to deconstruct the entire ceiling in order to get the remains to drop.
So, how much progress are you making
Yeah.
on the logistics floor, Robert?
Oh yeah, let me show you my progress. See, I made a table.
Yeah.
Yep.
The new I-beams work really well for that, Robert.
Yep. I made a table. So, and we put in some lighting. Garrett's idea to make them the label signs double wide was excellent. That's really good for that corporate, drop ceiling lighting. Look,
Gosh, why do they call them an
So-
H-beam? It's definitely an I-beam. You don't put them sideways
they
so they
call
look
them
like
an
an H. You
H-beam?
put them vertical. Yeah,
oh,
they call it an H-beam.
how ridiculous! Those
You don't put it
they're-
sideways.
They're obviously I-beams. Okay, back to that.
Called an I-beam because you put them in the I direction.
Aye.
Donald Grimm says, I keep waiting for Robert to say, peace was never an option, and blow you up. Nah.
Okay. Alrighty.
And Alexa says, Robert, this is what I hear. What is this? I hear you and Garrett work together. The factory didn't blow up. Yeah, we know how to work together. We're good brothers.
Yeah, but then he set up a very poor ambush for me on the elevator. So
Oh, that was from earlier. Yeah, speaking of poor ambushes, why did you leave a nuke in my bed, in my space?
oh, that was just accident.
And he immediately blows it up, knowing I'm right there. Garrett, what is this? Archon says, apparently out of the States they are called H-beams, which is weird.
So
Yeah.
outside of the States, which of course this is produced outside of the States,
Right.
they are referred to differently. That's interesting.
Do they put them sideways then? I'm sorry, the middle panel is meant to be upright. That's what holds the vertical force.
Weird. So TL Heekin over on YouTube says, is there a standard truck fuel you all use? I want to use more truck routes, but it feels like I have to either do a lot more logistical work or give up coal that I could use for other stuff.
Is
We
there
actually have a
a
short.
standard truck fuel we use? We keep upgrading the truck fuel as soon as we have an upgraded type of fuel to use. So currently we're using turbo fuel for all the trucks.
Yep. We specifically have a short on transportation methods that goes over drones versus trucks and stuff. Yeah, it just comes down to the better the fuel, the longer the trucks can go without refueling. Use coal if you have it, use something else if you can.
Why did my controller suddenly start to vibrate?
Okay.
Uh, you know, generally I'm having a good experience with Linux, but it gets weird sometimes.
Yeah, you should tell them about your Discord bug. Maybe somebody here has encountered that.
My Discord bug?
Yeah,
Are you talking
with
about
your
my
cursor.
cursor?
Yeah, but it was happening on Discord, right?
So it turns out that it happens no matter what. Anytime I move my cursor back and forth, it slowly grows.
Hmm.
The moment I stop my cursor, it goes back down to its normal size. But somehow, for some reason, moving it back and forth really fast, convinces it needs to grow. And I've gotten it up to half the size of my screen before, just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Half the size
I
of
have
your
no idea
screen
what's going on.
just for your cursor?
Uh-huh.
Whoa. I'd say that that's a Linux bug.
Yeah. I mean, it's not causing any problems, unlike other bugs I've encountered.
Okay. Well, I have.
Metal Thunder
Connected
says that
down.
just happens. It's normal.
It
What?
just happens. It's normal, huh? Okay.
Nutella Bra says, "Hey, what's up, Doc and Sons?"
Somebody likes Nutella. Is this it? Where is it? I'd like to see that.
Nutella is a chocolate spread.
I know it is.
It's just chocolate, guys. All of you think it's not chocolate. It's actually the special kind of hazelnut. No, it's chocolate spread. It's just pure chocolate. You're just putting chocolate on your toast. Why
Yep.
are you spreading chocolate on your toast?
Oh, because it
That
tastes
makes
good.
that makes it dessert. It's not breakfast. It's now dessert.
Oh, come on.
Guys,
Donuts.
it's chocolate
Donuts
spread.
aren't breakfast then because they're sweet.
Donuts are definitely a dessert.
Ooh.
They're a breakfast dessert, but they're still dessert. I want to help those people who are coping, who think that it's a healthy alternative to chocolate or something like that. No, Nutella is just
So
chocolate.
anyway, Nutella Bra says, "What's up, Doc and Sons?" And so, what's up? We're building trains.
Yeah.
We're having fun. I'm having fun building trains. Garrett and Robert are having fun blowing each other up, and not getting anything done, other than things that they weren't working on or authorized to work on at the beginning of the stream. But I don't have any control over it. So,
Look, you want us to do boring stuff.
okay, I want you to do boring stuff. Yes.
Caffeinated says, as a former security guard, donuts are breakfast, and I will not hear otherwise. Alexa says donuts are dinner.
Okay.
Pumpkin wants to know if raisin bread is dessert or breakfast.
Raisin bread. Oof. Cinnamon raisin bread. That's the greatest toast in the world.
Toast? You toast it?
Oh yeah.
Why would you toast it?
So you can put butter on it and have it be nice.
You
And
can put butter on it anyway.
Wow. Guldegrim's declaring war against me for my comments. Look, I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just helping everybody by speaking the truth. You guys need to understand.
okay.
You are not speaking a truth anybody ever wanted.
That I agree with. That
Not
I agree with.
speaking a
We were
truth.
happy. We were happy living the lie.
The wicked take the truth to be hard. I understand.
Ah, you guys.
God. Condemned.
Now it's down to Raisin Toast. Have you tried deleting
Preacher
System
hands.
32, Garrett? Have you tried deleting System
Okay.
32, Garrett?
Look. I'm not
Okay.
that old, but I am old enough. Like, come on.
You know better.
Also, System 32 is a Windows thing. I'm 90% sure. I don't think I have it on
Program
Linux.
32 is Windows, isn't it?
By the way, Garrett, David H. asked what Linux distro you're using.
So it's called Nobara. It's a Fedora spinoff. I basically picked it because I'm completely new to Linux, and it came with most of the things that I wanted pre-installed, which just seriously shortened the time from me for me getting it set up. I'm sure if I had gone with a more stripped down version, I would have had a bit more control, had more of a Linux experience, but I've been mostly happy with this the way it is.
Mostly.
Especially, again, as I'm
Okay.
fairly new to it. Mostly, yeah.
Garrett doesn't actually
I mean,
want
if
a
you're-
Linux experience. Like, gotcha.
If you're doing Linux, I actually don't. I want a Windows experience, but not what Windows is becoming. I prefer Windows or Linux to what Windows has
Have you
become.
seen the Linux distros with like the Windows 95 skin on it? They're actually pretty funny.
No.
They intentionally make them skinned like old versions of Windows.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That really is funny.
By the way, Doc,
Yeah.
Don Grimm disagrees with you. He says raisin bread is an abomination along with raisin bagels.
Do you have a problem with raisins? Or is it with raisin bread specific?
Yeah, really.
I'm okay with raisin bread in a hard bread, like a
Hard
bagel.
bread.
Raisins in a soft medium, I really dislike. I'm okay with raisins. I don't like Raisin Bran, just because the kind of like that tougher, chewier texture doesn't work in a crunchy cereal and a flake cereal. It just the textures don't mesh.
I like Raisin Bran.
Yeah, and I don't feel super strongly about it, but like raisins in like a bagel or something, I'm fine with it, but I wouldn't choose it. And TL has a great opinion. Raisins are a waste of a perfectly good grape.
Yeah, drying a grape and salting it.
I don't think they salt it. I think they just dried it in the sun.
Or do they sugar it?
I don't know.
Maybe, but I don't think that they do that either.
I like Raisin Bran, but I can see how you wouldn't like it because of different textures. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like Raisin Bran simply because the flakes got soggy too quick.
Yeah.
I like a crunchy cereal, and it just loses its crunch so quickly. So
And I'm not generally a guy who doesn't like mixing textures. I think mixing textures is fine. It's just that combination.
Yeah. I eat Raisin Bran as a substitute for granola because granola is expensive.
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
I like granola cereals. They're delicious. They're also mostly sugar, but
Yeah.
depending on which one you get, of course. But basically, for all of you Europeans out there, if it's American food, it's mostly sugar.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll be changing with RFK in charge of
Robert
health
F.
policy,
Kennedy, if for those who don't know the acronym RFK.
Gonta Grimm says, just eat grape nuts. It's the superior cereal. I do like grape nuts. Doc, that's a good crunchy cereal.
Yeah, it is.
Grape nuts are all right. They're really
Well,
tough.
grape nuts is my favorite cereal, Robert. You didn't know that? Fact turns too sharply. Got it one further than it should be, I guess.
I mean, yeah, we always had it in the house. And it was always your cereal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Teal Hyken says, and by sugar, we actually mean corn syrup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that nobody likes, but hasn't ever changed because politics.
That is the one thing that the government decided needed to stay in the United States. Corn. And so they've subsidized it up the wazoo. Corn syrup makes 0 cents without government subsidies.
And unfortunately, that's true because it's expensive to make. Yes.
Yeah, the entire process would be completely insolvent if the government weren't subsidizing it. Which is just bad for everyone.
Why'd they feel the need to subsidize it in the first place? I'd like to know. Who turns
Me
too
too.
sharply? Yeah, I pulled it out one too far.
High fructose corn syrup.
Time for what?
Oh, I just said high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah. Exactly what they call it. Okay. We got that one connected. Now this one that's already connected needs to connect to this one. And then I've got...
Okay, I am ever the contrarian, so I will throw in a tiny, partial contrary argument.
Okay.
Any nation should secure their own food supply. And while I hate the idea of farm subsidies, ensuring the fact that we continue to have farms to ensure the U.S. food supply is a good thing, I think the pandemic proved how bad it is when you don't have your own food supply, when you don't have your own supply of a lot of things. So some level of subsidies or guarantees is helpful to keep a nation from falling apart.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
that's not what's been done with the corn syrup. With corn syrup.
Yep. And, you know, the pandemic taught us a lot about the global supply chain and how frail it really is. So, it is 7 minutes till the hour. And unfortunately, I've got to call it. Mind you that while resting, yeah, we've been streaming for 4 hours based on starting with our intro screen. So I need to be taking off to go to the graduation of a grandson. So it's a happy day to see another grandson graduate from high school, at least.
The first grandson graduated from high school.
No,
First
we went to the
grandson.
son. Yes, we had a granddaughter graduate from high school as well. So, and both from the same high school, Nixa High School system, Nixa system of Nixa, Missouri. That's over by Springfield, Missouri, the capital of Missouri. Actually, no, not the capital of Missouri.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we have graduations. Happy graduations. Oh, I can't talk.
Avilia.
From a bunch of people.
Yeah, Avilia.
Pass that along.
Yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Thanks so much for everybody being here. It was big fun. Thanks to all of you who subscribed on Twitch and who became members on YouTube. And the memberships that were given on YouTube, that really, really helps the channel. And so we look forward to seeing everybody on Thursday when we're going to be playing all Minecraft all together. All the members that want to come and see us on Minecraft and play with us on Minecraft can come join us. And I'll continue developing my horse racing track and my horse breeding and selling, and other people will go ahead and do their thing, and we'll show all the big things that have been developed there. So look forward to seeing everybody then. So take care until then. We'll look forward to seeing you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.